Tulsi over President Trump. Wow, you would take Tulsi Gabbard over President Trump? Here's the thing though. And we are live now on all the platforms. Here's the thing though. Tulsi Gabbard, I don't think she would answer she would satisfy the thirst of MAGA. And when I say the thirst, I mean sticking it to the liberals. That's fun. I mean, look, they believe the liberals were trying to go after Trump and try to destroy Trump with the impeachments, with the court cases, the 34 felonies. So the right favors Trump taking revenge on the left. Tulsi Gabbard is not going to do that. So they like the fact that he's going after the left like that. The trolling, the internet memes, all of this stuff, Biden hogtied in the trunk of a car, Hakeem Jeffries wearing a sombrero. Tulsi Gabbard is probably not going to do that stuff. So my guess is a Tulsi Gabbard presidency would be boring to MAGA because she's going to be probably more presidential. And MAGA has come to like the non-presidential stuff, the trolling, the jokes, the insults. They like that. So I don't think Tulsi Gabbard would go very far. Now, in my opinion, I think that's also why the other 9 Republicans that tried to primary Trump, Ron DeSantis, Chris Christie, Nikki Haley, governor of North Dakota, all of them folks, Vivek Ramaswamy, that's why Trump beat them overwhelmingly, because none of them folks are going to be that type of president that Trump is. So I don't think MAGA doesn't want to go back to the days where you only hear from the president once or twice a week and is dignified. And no, they don't want they like what he's doing. My guess is the approval ratings for that type of stuff, the pettiness, the revenge and stuff, would be very high very high among MAGA. So I don't think the other presidents will do that. What was the policy set? What was the policy set at when America was the greatest? I don't even know when America was the greatest. In my humble opinion, barring the divisive nature of this country right now, there is no point in history that I would rather go back to and say that was a better time than now. Now, some might say during the Obama term if you lean left, or some might say during Reagan, but every day is a gain towards equality and freedom for all. So I don't want to go back in time at all. There is no yesterday that I want to go back to. They want martial law in place before the midterm, says Miss Mobetta. I'm hearing that. Well, certainly with President Trump standing next to Zelensky of the Ukraine and saying, yeah, some people believe that. Stick the ruler. Good evening.
Hey, what's going on, Tim? Not much.
Anytime. Say that again.
I said I appreciate you letting me up, super duper ASAP.
Oh, anytime. So what I want to ask is, why is the National Guard being sent to so many damn places? I was not going to come on tonight, but now I'm hearing Chicago is about to receive 300 National Guards people from Texas. What the hell is that?
So again, we have a fascist, a racist, and a warmonger in office. He changed the Department of Defense, which means we're going to defend against people coming at us. Now we're just opening up. Now it's the Department of War. We're just gonna we're trying to run them over. We can do this. Like Pete Hegseth, I just listened to his whole spiel in the speech that he did to all the generals and stuff. He was talking about, if you want peace, you got to be ready for war. You know who said that?
Well, I've heard peace through strength. Who said the phrase you're talking about? Who said that?
Pablo Escobar. Yeah, see.
But I mean, listen. I mean, you know how I always tend to defend Trump when I think something is not that bad. I don't think that statement is that bad. To defend peace, you got to be ready for war. I mean, that's like peace through strength or trust but verify. I don't see that. I mean, I don't like Pablo Escobar, but I don't see that that's a bad statement.
It's a very bad statement, especially when you're walking around in a suit and you ain't going to war. You're sending other people's kids to war. You're sending those generals that you talk down to about them being fat and out of shape. You're sending them to war. They're at a command where they're telling their troops what to do, how to handle it, and then it's a trickle effect. Like how they say that the economy is supposed to do. It's a trickle down effect. It's actually a trickle down effect in the military.
But let's be clear. But when you talk about men in suits sending people's kids to war and things like that, that's kind of the American way, is it not? Most of our leaders do not have a combat background. I mean, I think George W. Bush, he probably was the last one. Obviously, Obama didn't serve. Biden never served in the military. Trump, I mean, so that's kind of what's been going on.
Well, I'll say this: the position that Pete Hegseth is a civilian position anyway. But at the end of the day, when we go back and we look at all the people who have served in that particular position, they always, in most cases, with the exception, I think it was Donald Rumsfeld, all of them were military service guys.
Well, when you say wait, hold on. You said Pete Hegseth's position was a civilian position. Explain what you mean, because he did a tour in Iraq, did he not?
No. What I'm saying is the position that he holds now, a civilian can get that position.
Yeah.
So it's a civilian position. That Air Force, that black Air Force general that Pete Hegseth
they got rid of,
buddied up to and said he wasn't going anywhere, I don't think, and then he turned around and fired his ass.
Yeah.
That guy was way more seasoned than Pete Hegseth. They needed to switch. It was kind of like Ben Carson being over Hood.
Well, I do believe that if you are a person of color in a high position of leadership in the military, you're going to have a hard time staying there under the Trump administration.
Well, and that's the whole point I'm trying to say. We need to stop acting like this man ain't racist. We do. We need to come to our understanding that he went against DEI. Before he got in there, he had the Supreme Court go at affirmative action, which they got rid of. SRT, CRT, and then the list goes on and on. AP classes.
Yeah, but what about what they're claiming? What about what they are claiming is that you got a whole lot of people of color and women in positions that they do not have the merit to be there, and they're only there because of DEI.
Listen, you can't get anything unless you have merit. Everything, when it comes down to jobs these days, especially like being a pilot, you got to go to pilot school. You got to pass pilot school. And then on top of that, Tim, tell me a black pilot that crashed. I'll wait.
That is a hard one. But I will say, I think in the corporate world, even if they get rid of DEI and get rid of affirmative action, you're always going to have people getting jobs that, at the very least, skipping a line. Most of us, I'll tell you my own personal story. I was a engineer with Illinois Bell, the phone company, now AT&T for quite a while. The only reason why I got the job is because my dad used to be a lineman. Now, I had my college education. I took the test for AT&T, which was called Illinois Bell at the time. I passed the test, but because hundreds of other people did, I never made it to the front of the line. Once my dad passed away and all of these linemen that used to work with him were at the funeral, I asked, could you hook me up with a job? I had a job within 2-3 days. I think most people get jobs like that. It ain't that now when you talk about skin, go ahead.
So nepotism.
Yeah.
You got your job through nepotism.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine, because guess what? They've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
Years. Thousands of years. They ran everything. They owned everything. You think Rockefeller gave it to somebody else? No, he gave it to another Rockefeller. I mean, let's just be honest. Roth, they gave it to another Roth.
Yeah.
And on and on and on. And that's why we have Kroger's, because that's the Kroger people. That's why we have Coke, the Koch brothers. Like, and on and on and on. Nepotism is another on top of capitalism.
But what's the difference between nepotism? Okay, we know nepotism happens. Nepotism is going to happen. It happened before Trump. It's going to happen after Trump. In fact, his kids are obviously nepo babies. What's the difference between nepotism and DEI? How is one worse or better than the other one?
The difference difference between nepotism and DEI is when you have a DEI candidate, he's already checked out or she's already checked out those boxes of being qualified. Regardless of what you're saying, for me to be a barber, I had to go to barber school. I had to do 1,800 hours in school before coming a barber. And then before they just say, here you go, now you're a barber because you did 1,800 hours. I had to go take a test. I had to pass that test. That gave me the barber's license, which in sense makes me a barber.
So you're basically saying that nepotism is worse than DEI.
Oh, it has always been worse than DEI because 9 times out of 10, that's a private company. Nobody can tell that private company what to do. So when that private company went public and then they were, in a sense, under regulation now, that's when affirmative action came in to say, hey, man, look, check it. You got some qualified Native Americans, you got some qualified Indian Americans, you got some qualified Chinese Americans, but you have none on your board. What's up? Because now they became public. So now they have to go on to certain guidelines. It is what it is. But I guarantee you, one of those sons or one of those cousins or whoever that was close to the person who created that business, I guarantee they all up and through that.
Yeah.
Because that's nepotism. And it ain't going nowhere.
So why are the same folks that are really arguing against DEI so quiet on nepotism?
Because there's nothing you can do about nepotism. There's nothing you can do. If a person, Trump, he that's his name, that's the brand. His kid's last name is Trump. So there's nothing you can do about that. You know automatically they're gonna inherit once Trump is out of here. You know, once he has that Big Mac attack and he's gone, we know that Donald Jr. 9 times out of 10 is gonna be the one to get it. And then from there, he may do a dad, you know, like how he did his siblings, and just say, no, it's mine.
Now, let me give you an example. I thought about this. I haven't put it to video yet, but I thought about this. Because remember Charlie Kirk is known for saying when he got on the plane, due to DEI and affirmative action, he kind of questions whether a black pilot would have merit. Now, the thing I brought up is for Charlie Kirk to have reached the level of success that he reached, you know, he did everything from interning for free for in conservative circles. I think he did free internships at Fox News and things like that. Obviously, he held debates and things at colleges and universities all over the country, energizing the youth vote to explore voting conservative. So he worked and put in the groundwork to get where he's at. Now that he lost his life, they're going to make his wife the CEO, and she has not put in anywhere near the groundwork of Charlie Kirk. So the question I'm asking is, in the future, if businesses want to partner up with Charlie Kirk's former business, or they want to invest in it or do collaborations, should they look at his wife as the CEO the same way he looked at a black pilot? She doesn't have the business merit to be where she's at.
They should, but they won't. And I'm gonna give you even a better one. Miss McMahon.
Yeah.
What she's in charge of.
Education or something like that, right?
And what does she do? She don't have nothing to do with education. So again, with Ben Carson being served in his first presidency, we should have known better. You got the smartest man. Period. I know Trump don't like to admit it, but Ben Carson was way smarter than him. He was a neurosurgeon. Why would you put a neurosurgeon in somebody that like accounting needs? Somebody that has something to do with properties? Like,
well, probably because...
Hey, you know what? I'm going to give Trump one, right? Even though he ain't good at nothing, really. But
Big dog,
he should have been over HUD. Because he deals in real estate. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He should have said, you know what, I'm just going to bow out. Just whoever wins, just make me over HUD.
I'll just tell you this before I move it on from you. My guess is Ben Carson was put in charge of HUD because that way you didn't have to worry about bumping heads with him or him pushing back. He knew that was a position that he was pretty much just going to ride for Trump's term. Whereas if you had to put him in a position like what Kennedy is in, he might have been pushing back because now he knows what he's doing. I mean, this is an area he's an expert in. My guess is Dr. Oz is just being submissive. Dr. Oz probably know that Kennedy is full of shit on a lot of that stuff because Dr. Oz has a hell of a lot of medical credentials. But he's just riding a wave, making a bunch of money. I think Ben Carson might have pushed back, and that way Trump just gave him a favor by him stepping down from the presidency. I'm going to give you a cabinet position, but it's going to be some shit that you kind of just have like a ghost payroll where you don't really have to do much.
Well, I think that the Ben Carson even being put in was him still trying to have somebody black, at least one. Back then, because back then it wasn't Trump wasn't worried about that. He was worried about just being president, proving a point.
Well, he had to he had to worry about running for a second term back then. He don't have that worry now.
Well, it's not so much he didn't. Well, yes and no, because again he ran before and didn't win. So at this point, it was even it had been said that he was mad about a contract. Somebody was getting paid more than him, and he thought that if I go and I run for president, I'll show them, right? And he was surprised that it was a lot of fans out there that watched The Apprentice and liked to hear him say how he was fired, and he had been on what was that, Home Alone?
Yeah.
And,
He runs the country like a business. People really like that. I got to move it on stick though. People really liked his business acumen. I mean,
Well, the thing of it is, he's running the U.S. right now like a business. He didn't do that the first term.
True.
He let go of the wheel and he let it go. He let it ride, and we had good results because it was Obama presidency that set him up really good. Cool. You didn't fuck it up. We like that. Now you're fucking it up just like you fucked up all your businesses, and that's why it looks like this because you have your hand in the pot. Once you have your hand in the pot, it goes to shit.
everybody don't necessarily agree, but Stick, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Hey, you better not go fishing off the damn coast. Mess around and end up being a fireball.
Oh my God. I gotta go. Oh, I didn't mean to drag, but I'll just say this real quick, briefly. He's right. Trump is running the country more like a business now in his second term than he was in his first term. But I used to say this on the program quite often during some of our broadcasts before Trump became president. And I would say that running a country like a business is difficult when you got the country set up like the founding fathers had it set up, where you got three equal branches of government: judicial, legislative, and executive. Because when you run a business, like Trump is, obviously ran several businesses throughout his life, as the CEO or the owner of the business, there really is no checks and balances. If the CEO says tomorrow we're moving a branch to San Antonio, and people that work for him don't want to move, or you just fire. He doesn't have to necessarily take a vote or hear any pushback. Now, once you get into the point where there's a board, they do have some power. But the point is, as a business, the guy at the top has significantly more power than, let's say, the president in politics. Because it's much harder to veto a business owner than it is a president. Significantly more power. And I used to push back by saying that is that for Trump to run the country like a business, he needs to be able to say fuck you to a whole bunch of people. Now, in his second term, that is what is happening. That is kind of what is happening. So he's able to run the country more successfully like a business during his second term because he don't have that pushback. His word does just kind of goes now. Whatever he says, it kind of goes. So he is getting closer to running the country like a business. Now, one of the other things I did push back on in regards to running the country like a business is I'm not a fan of leading a nation like a business because you have several aspects of civilized life that should not be ran like a business because a business is all about the bottom line. The primary focus of a business is profit. There are a lot of aspects of American life that should not be based on profit. Do you want the schools, the elementary schools that teach K through 8 to operate on a for-profit basis? Or do you want 911 that you dial for safety to protect us all? Do you want them to operate on a for-profit basis? There are certain aspects of American society that you don't want. We see what's happening with the penal system, where the incarceration for money. You just don't want that. You don't want certain areas or certain aspects of civilized life to be for profit. The people that fix your bridges and roads and shit like that. The guy who comes and picks up your garbage if you live in a big city. That stuff is normally done by the city. Do you want it? Do you want it on a for-profit basis? Because a business does not have the time nor date for anybody that cannot afford their good or service. And there are things in civilized life that the people should be able to get access to, regardless if they have money or not. There's just certain aspects, water treatment plants and things like that. You don't want that stuff on a for-profit basis. And so to me, running the country like a business leaves all sorts of room for problems. Anyway, tap the screen, get the lights on up to 10,000. We're talking about the potential for martial law. I don't understand why President Trump in less than a year has sent the National Guard to 4 different American cities. Started out with Los Angeles, DC, Portland, Oregon, and now 300, I think 200 or 300, I think it's 300, might be 200. 200 National Guardsmen from Texas are going up to Chicago. And let me just say this. Chicago's geographically a huge city. The land area of Chicago is pretty big. 200 to 300 National Guardsmen is not a lot for a city that size. They can congregate in one neighborhood, maybe they're all downtown, but the violence is mostly on the south and west sides of Chicago. Each one of those areas of the city is big enough geographically to compare to some of the mid-sized cities in this country. I mean, I gotta assume the square footage of the south side of Chicago is probably a mid-sized town. 200 to 300 of them guys is not gonna be enough to really even be present in every location to stop stuff. I don't know what's the purpose of that other than the intimidation factor, but I'm gonna go back to the box. He is a success. He is a success at Connie, people, says Katrina. All right, because he is tired of all the violence. I don't think what he's doing is going to stop it, though, Paul. I don't believe. First of all, America's a violent country. And there are so many violent cities in this country. You're going to deploy the National Guard to all of them? Because Portland is not known as the most violent city in America. There's probably 10 cities that Trump skipped over to get to Portland. Portland is nowhere near the most violent city. Memphis, St. Louis, Jacksonville, Florida, I believe Jackson, Mississippi, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Little Rock, Arkansas. All of those cities are more violent than Portland. You're going to send the National Guard to all of them? How long can we afford to keep doing that? If they're claiming it costs $1 million per day just to have them on the ground in D.C. How long can we keep doing that? Willard Coleman. By the way, when do we get to the part about bettering the economy? JPT Farms and Top Dogs. Appreciate you folks helping me get to my TikTok cap goal. Thank you very much. Willard, if the box brings him up. Portland is nice, folks, says Lonzel Graham. You know, I'm hearing that people are in Portland riding bikes and shit, having picnics while Trump is on TV saying it's burning to the ground. I don't know why he said that. I just don't know why. I'm going to have to reset the boxes. My last guest, Willard, doesn't seem to be coming up. When are we going to start helping out Americans? How does this help me? Well, I suppose sending the National Guard will help you if you're in that high crime area. But fact is, the overwhelming majority of Americans do not live in Chicago, D.C., Los Angeles, and they're not going to visit Portland. There's so many other areas of American life that should be addressed that affects us all, as opposed to sending the National Guard in these little towns where there's very little other Americans outside of those towns are going in there. So I don't know why that's happening. We'll go to the box again. Will G says, Trump and MAGA ain't shit. He says, I do remember when I told you that Trump is going to use a secret entity as his personal army. And he's saying that that entity is ICE. Well, ICE, but ICE can ICE really go after American citizens with it to any significance? I mean, it can detain you. most of the crimes that an American citizen might commit, ICE can't really do anything about it, can they? They can hold you. I don't know. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying because we do see ICE detaining a hell of a lot of Americans, but I don't know. Can they go get? Let's say you got a bank robber and that you know American citizen and he's holed up in some apartment. Can you send ICE in there to get him? At some point, we need some judge to step in because he is. If that's the case, he is definitely using ICE improperly. That would be crazy. So proud of Trump, says John Landry. I would like to know what you're proud of him for. Make Americans safe. Hang on one second, Jeremy. Make Americans safe by sending funds to hire more police, invest in more programs for the youth. What do you think about that?
Me?
Yeah, 4 cities now.
Yeah, hire more police, and make sure that the programs you're investing in for the youth are effective. But yeah, why not?
Give me an example of a program that you believe would be effective for the youth.
Just one. Well, I actually can't think of any offhand, but I don't have a problem with the idea that the government spends like a little bit more money on the youth to make sure that they're doing well. And just the general concept alone sounds okay.
What about this National Guard shit? Okay, this is the 4th city. You co-sign this? You think this is a good idea?
Well, as long as they're doing it for the reasons that I think that they're doing it for, which is to reinforce ICE, yes.
When they sent the National Guard into Los Angeles, I don't even think. I mean, why not just send enough ICE agents in there? I mean, why send?
Maybe they just don't have enough to pull from.
I mean, it's possible. Sending the National Guard from Texas to Chicago.
Yeah, I know. Well, again, hey, if what they're doing is reinforcing a federal organization like ICE, I have no problem. By the way, I just wanted to go after some people who are on here a few days ago saying like, oh, why is ICE arresting babies naked and like black babies? Guess what? The videos they're referring to, it was literally a fully clothed child that was being chased by his dad, who happens to be a cop, as a game.
Well, here's the problem. I haven't seen the video, and when that came up, I even said then I did not know what ICE was doing in that apartment building in Chicago. I haven't seen the videos coming out because they said children were being, wrist tied to, when they used the wrist cuffs. They were saying all kinds of horrible stories. Apparently somebody said, fuck them kids. You came on the program and you said the same thing. So I think the way
because I knew there was more to the story than people were leading on. I knew it wasn't going to be some like 4-year-old child. I knew that like it was either going to be some 16 or 14-year-old, or it didn't even happen.
I don't know what could happen to make you say fuck them kids for somebody who's even 14.
14-year-olds, if they're acting up, absolutely put them in cuffs. I do not give a fuck.
Well,
I am so tired of people treating teens as if they're like small little children. They're not. In fact, gangs recruit small teens because they know that they're going to get away with more crimes, and they know that because their bodies are growing, that they can still deal out a lot of damage.
Let me say it this way: if you have ICE out in the street and protesters as young as 14 are blocking their vehicles and things like that, I could kind of entertain your argument. But when you got a 14-year-old that's in the house in the wee hours of the morning, probably sleep, and a Black Hawk helicopter hovers above the building and they actually rappel down, come into the building and break in their houses, the 14-year-old is not acting out when he speaks out against that. You came into their crib and did that. And then dragged them out in the street.
If he's illegally in the country, you don't know how dangerous that kid is. You got to make sure. See, this is the basic thing that every single military and police officer knows. People hide weapons on them all.
Jeremy,
time.
I have not heard them claim any children were arrested as being an illegal immigrant, though. I have not heard that at all.
And again, the original video that everyone's referring to is literally just a cop chasing his little kid around for fun.
Yeah, I can't speak on the video because I haven't seen it, but I mean, okay, let's say they're here illegally. A Black Hawk helicopter and you're rappelling to the top of the fucking building? What the hell is that? A Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movie?
Whatever it takes.
It don't take that, and you know damn well it don't take that. We got violent criminals that are holed up in houses and buildings all the damn time. They never address it like that. You surround a damn building, get on a megaphone, and if you got to go in with tear gas or whatever, you go. You don't repel from a Black Hawk helicopter. Are you kidding me?
That might be a little bit overkill, but
A little bit.
That big of a deal.
A little
I
bit.
feel like it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal when you're trying to scare the fuck out of people. When people are sleeping and all of a sudden they hear a Black Hawk, because keep in mind, everybody in the building heard that. Everybody in the building is not a criminal. Everybody in the building did not need to experience having all these heavily armed people in
I
masks.
do not care, Tim. I don't feel bad. Oh, okay. Oh, you're intimidated by people who want to make sure that you're behaving yourself and that you can't and that you don't fight back. Police officers are not. Police are not there to win a fair fight. They're there to capture people who have done something wrong.
Listen, I get that they're not there to win a fair fight, but damn it, there's got to be a fight to begin with. If somebody is simply in the country illegally and they're at home,
No.
so you're saying that you favor anybody that's in the country illegally, you favor going and doing what they did to get those people. That's the way you should handle that. Black Hawk helicopter, go in with long rifles and everything.
If it's one person, you could do it, you could slim it down, because I think that there's a little bit of an argument for that could be a waste of resources, in the waste of a Black Hawk. But you could do the same thing with a Bearcat and to knock down a wall.
Whatever happened to trying to use the least amount of force necessary?
I think that went away a long time ago when all of a sudden on the do you remember in the Los Angeles bank robbery shooting?
The Norridge shooting?
The North Hollywood
Yeah,
shooting.
I remember it. I mean, they kind of like what they did in the movie Heat, but I know what you're talking about. Where the guys had on trenches and bulletproof trenches and shit.
Yeah. I think the cops have kind of learned you can't, and you got to be prepared for everything.
And people wonder when the cops are doing shit like that, why people are hating police and saying defund them. If you got the kind of money to make an arrest with a Black Hawk helicopter and shit like that for somebody that is not even armed or putting up a fight, you kind of wonder why people don't want them defunded. You don't need money to do that. A ton of money was wasted on that.
Again, you don't necessarily. You can make the argument, and for saying like the Black Hawk was a waste of resources, you could have had a Bearcat and a bunch of guys is riding on the back and knock down the door. Fine. If you want to make that argument,
Jeremy, they're in the fucking high rise. They're not gonna jump from the 10th floor. You don't need a Bearcat even. All you do is need to get on a megaphone, come out. If they don't come out, you shoot tear gas in the apartment they're in. You don't empty the whole fucking building with a bunch of heavily armed men. I mean, the amount of unnecessary escalation is off the chain in this. They could have done this way simpler
than
than
that.
This
is all hypothetical. I don't even know that this ever happened.
Well, you don't know whatever happened.
That this whole Black Hawk situation even happened.
Pretty easy to look it up. They used the Black Hawk helicopter. They rappelled onto the roof of the building. I mean, it's pretty easy to look that up. Okay, you don't know it, but it's pretty easy to look that up. The amount of escalatory force they used was beyond necessary. It sounds like they were just trying to deliver a message of fright to other people. It had nothing to do with what they were trying to. I mean, there's nobody that was charged with resisting arrest. Nobody was charged with shooting back or anything. So what?
That's fine if no one was charged with that. You don't know what someone's packing. And here's the thing. You want to know how many ways there are to build a firearm? There's a million ways to build guns and to store them and to hide them and to be dangerous.
So based on what you're saying,
hold on. You want to know what's the most dangerous and common situation for a cop to die in?
Domestic violence.
Traffic stop.
Domestic violence is actually the most dangerous stop. Well, let me just say it like this. Then, based on what you're saying, why don't they stop everybody with a Black Hawk helicopter with guns drawn? Because anybody could formulate a weapon. I mean, based on what you're saying, when they pull you over on the side of the highway for speeding, 8 or 9 cops should approach your car with guns drawn already because you could formulate a weapon.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I have no problem when, a cop pulls me over and all of a sudden 2 other squad cars come up.
That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about coming up with guns drawn like they did to these people. Maybe, as you say, use a Bearcat. Use a Bearcat to drag you out your car.
I understand, and that this could have been a little bit overkill.
Little bit.
But but
Little
because
bit.
it hurts.
I'm a little bit fat. I mean, a little bit, huh? This is the amount of unnecessary escalation on this. They spent thousands of unnecessary dollars to make this arrest. Thousands of unnecessary dollars to do that.
Yeah, but you listen, Tim. If you're gonna talk about like wasted resources, that's the argument you want to make with me. When it comes to feeling bad for the people, no.
I don't understand why your lack of empathy is that bad. I mean, they're like I said, just like if they pulled
Why is it
you
a bad thing?
what?
Why is it bad?
Handsome conservative. Appreciate that. Thank you. Because they didn't deserve it. They didn't fucking deserve that. I mean, you repel into a building, you aim guns at dozens of people that did nothing wrong. Mostly, almost everybody that took out of that building, put them in handcuffs, eventually got let go. So all of them had to experience that.
I can understand what you're saying into a degree, but even then, I don't feel all that bad because as police need to know that they can control a situation.
Okay. Let me ask it to you this way then. Let me ask it to you this way. If I'm sleeping in bed, I'm law-abiding citizen, I've done nothing wrong, and maybe the neighbor next door in the other apartment has done something wrong, but they come in my apartment, drag me out butt-ass naked or barely clothed at 3 o'clock in the morning after repel. Dude, would you understand me not liking police because of what happened to me?
I can understand that, but that doesn't sound like the same situation.
Yeah, it does. That's what the right keeps complaining about. People don't comply. People talking shit. People don't respect police. You just even stated innocent people going through that stuff. You would understand them not liking police.
Is if you're like in a completely different apartment, that's not the same thing.
That's exactly what happened, Jeremy. A lot of people were dragged out. It ain't like they went into one apartment and got everybody out of. They went and took people out of several apartments that had nothing to do with.
What story is this? What story is this? I've never heard about any of this.
All of them people that they brought outside in Chicago from that high rise, you thought they all lived in one building? I mean, one apartment?
And wait, which skyrise is this? What are we even talking about?
Oh, okay. I'm just going to ask you to do your research. So clearly you don't know what I'm talking about. The neighborhood is the South Shore in Chicago. It's a high-rise building. I don't know, maybe 10 stories, 10, 12 stories. They use a Black Hawk helicopter repelled on top of the building. Now they claim that they had Trinidad Agua staying in the building. So they go in the building, they went in several apartments. So it's pretty clear they did not have a search warrant for one specific apartment. They went and opened up several apartments and dragged all the people out in the street. That's where all the kids and shit come from. Because you're taking families out of all of these apartments. And now you got them all on the street at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Trinidad Agua is known for like pulling people out of their apartments and then giving it to people who are illegally in the country.
That sounds great if you're dragging Trinidad Agua outside, but if you're laying in your bed and you haven't committed a crime, that don't sound great to you.
If you're not supposed to be in that apartment, then you have committed a crime.
But Jeremy, what I'm saying is they dragged people out of several apartments that did not have any Trinidad Agua in it. Look the story. Okay, look the story up. You're commenting on stuff that you admit you don't really know nothing about. Look it up, and we'll talk about it on another live. But you clearly don't know anything about this because you're defending stuff.
Sure, I'll look at it.
Yeah, look it up. Look it up, because you're way out of left field defending some crazy shit. They're going in people's apartments that had nothing to do with illegal immigration or Trinidad Agua and dragging them out in the streets at 3 o'clock in the morning with guns aimed at their face. Look it up, and we'll talk later. I gotta move it on.
Have a good one.
You too. All right, moving on with the program. And as I stated, regardless of how you feel about what was done there, you hear my last guest saying, look, the police got to be able to control the scene, and, Trinidad Agua is known for committing bad, atrocities against people. But you heard him admit that if you drag someone out of their apartment in the middle of the night with guns drawn at them, and they're not involved in anything, any reason for why you're there, it could lead to people not liking police. And I'm going to just tell you, based on what happened in this scene, there's a whole lot of people, because this has been discussed at least nationwide. My guess is there are people in other countries that know what happened in Chicago a few days ago. There are people in other countries that know about this. This is the kind of shit that puts a stain on all police. When one police does something awful, kind of like, I'll give you a good example. You know, being an African American, and I'll go back to the box after this. Tap the screen, get your boy on up to 30,000. Help your boy reach that TikTok goal. We don't block, ban, or censor. This is uncensored programming as always. If you enjoy an uncensored live, feel free to follow us. If you're watching on Instagram, TikTok, or if you happen to be watching on YouTube, give your boy a sub. And we're also currently broadcasting live on X. But when you do stuff like this, it creates, it literally creates a hatred towards the police when they escalate situations above and beyond what they have to. And the example I was going to give is, even as an African American, a person of color myself, even when I'm not involved in some heinous act that I see a black man do on TV, sometimes I feel embarrassed because I know there are people who want to stain the entire group of people that look like me. Like, let's take the guy who stabbed a woman to death on the train in North Carolina, the Ukrainian immigrant. There are people who are using that to say black people are violent. That's why you hear people already talking about 13% of the population, 50% of the crime. So when one brother does something like that, some might argue it puts a stain on all of us brothers. Well, that applies to the damn police too. That applies to the police too. When somebody in the badge does some dumb shit like what they did in Chicago, that's affecting the state police. People are gonna look at all badges with disdain like that. That affects everybody. So just want to make sure you understand that, how it works. When one person does something, it can affect everybody that's part of that group. Just like when there's a racist Karen out there doing some shit, you see people blaming all white people for it. Well, when the cops do something like that, a lot of badges take the blame for it. Let me go back to the box. I do want to respond to a super chat though. Will G says, wouldn't be surprised that Trump would broaden ISIS powers, with Trump trying to declare Democratic cities and judges that disagree with Trump as enemies. I wish he wouldn't do that. I wish he would not do that. I wish the Republican Party would step up and stop letting him declare actual American citizens as enemies. They don't seem to be on course to do that. I mean, Antifa's an enemy. My guess is Black Lives Matter may fall into that category soon. And God knows who else. God knows what other liberal groups may fall into that. But I really wish they would speak up and not let him use the presidency to declare his adversaries as enemies of the fucking country, giving him the ability to deem them as terrorists and use military might against them. I really wish the right would speak up against that, because I'm pretty sure they would not want a liberal in the future to declare MAGA as enemies. I mean, now listen, Biden called them garbage, but it's a difference between calling them garbage and deploying the National Guard to MAGA rallies. I don't think the right would want that happening. I really wish they would speak up against something that is obviously wrong. Even just because it's working in your favor don't mean it's wrong. Woodgie says, I will be only a matter of time. I saw that already. Oh, no, it will be a matter of time before Trump calls for martial law and the elections are suspended and D.C. is a super fortified with an agent on every block. I don't know about with an agent on every block, but I do believe that under Trump's presidency, the National Guard will never leave D.C. I do believe they will remain deployed in D.C., possibly going along the direction of what Will just said. You know, fortify D.C., so if there is civil unrest, I'm safe. I'm in D.C. and I got military everywhere, all around me. Can't touch me. Anyway, going back to the box, the right is weak and scared. That's why they're doing this. Scared of what? PPF Ranch. Going back to the box, I don't know. There's some troubling times that we got National Guard going all over the damn place for the littlest of reasons. DC, Portland, Chicago, LA, none of those cities, I believe, are in the top 10 for most levels of violence. But yet he started with those first. Mike, good evening.
Tim, what's up, brother?
I wasn't even going to do live tonight until I heard he was sending them into Chicago. I was not even going to be on his live, man.
Well, I'm glad you are. A couple things. Tap the screen share live. Let's get Tim up to 50,000.
That would be nice.
People in
that
here.
Would be nice.
Reset your live goal. We try to go after your other live goal. And if you did not know, if your viewers that love to listen to Miss Mo Better is starting to go live now.
Yes.
You do that.
Yes, I was on there.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I let you know. So anyway, what I want everyone to understand Jeremy, and I want to go back to Jeremy for a second. I want everybody to understand what you just
Now,
witnessed.
Jeremy is my last caller for folks who may not know.
Yes.
The person I just talked to. Go ahead.
Jeremy just showed cognitive dissonance at the same time his algorithm. Because he started talking about Chicago. He even brought up the fact that the video he claims is fake about the little kid being, he knew a part of what you were talking about.
JPT, yeah, he did. That is a good point. JPT Farm, appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
that is true. He did know that.
But that's his algorithm. That's his algorithm. His algorithm's not showing him the other shit. His algorithm is only showing him that. Because he couldn't speak to it after that, Tim. He couldn't speak to any of that shit after that. That's his algorithm.
Well, I agree with you. If you lean right, your algorithm is anti-Chicago because the right views Chicago may as well be Gaza to the right. If you ask the typical Republican, name the most violent city in America, they're going to yell Chicago because that is all their media is feeding them. You talk about, fake news and all of this shit. The notion that Chicago is the most violent city in America is a heap of fake shit. It's not even in the top 10, I don't think. But the right feeds them that day and night that Chicago is the most violent city in America.
Yeah, and he just displayed that. The cognitive dissonance is all the things he was trying to make excuses for. When you were explaining, like for example, the average person, critical thinking should know if that was a legit raid, because they said they had information from some, they got information that there were two gang members living in the apartment.
Right.
Well, if they had that information, they would have had an apartment number.
That is true.
If they had that information, they would have had a floor. They would have just said he in there somewhere. You can't get a warrant for in there somewhere. You have to have, that warrant would have said apartment 2B on the 4th floor. That's what they would have said.
Would that not make it almost a guaranteed lawsuit for those residents? I mean,
Tim,
yeah.
I've looked this up. 100%. There is no defense for that shit. You can't come into my house because you can't come in my house looking for my neighbor, going in his house and my house just to be sure without a warrant.
You know something? This is why I often say that even though I don't believe Trump will ever get in trouble. I think Trump will ride off into the sunset as an old wealthy man and he'll live a full life. But this is why I say a lot of people that associate with Trump probably will face the music after he's gone, is because somebody authorized ICE to go into all of those apartments with no warrant. I mean, somebody knew what they were doing was wrong. You can't be looking for two or three people and go into all of these apartments. You don't have any warrant to be there.
And Tim, you're 100% right. And so this is why I get so upset. And maybe we don't have enough time to talk about this. People think I'm so goddamn racist. I think about everybody involved. I think about the ICE agents that are trying to do their job legitimately. I think about the officers that are trying to be good officers and being given bogus orders to put their lives in jeopardy.
Sure.
Like, see, the right doesn't think about that shit. If you care about law enforcement, you should be outraged if they got an unlawful order. Because
I don't think it's about being concerned with law enforcement. I think it's about being concerned with winning. If Trump is winning and sticking it to the liberals, the hell with the fucking law. If he's winning, let him win. I don't think they care about the law. They care about winning.
Oh, it's clear they don't care about the law. I mean, he was already talking today that he would consider invoking the Insurrection Act. Did you see that shit?
I heard him mention it. I did see people talking about how can he possibly be. Like I said, they care about winning. That's another good example, is that he can say some wild shit and there really is no pushback, even though they admit a lot of it is unconstitutional. But hey, it's Trump doing it.
And again, even though Jeremy says he doesn't support Trump, and I don't care if he supports Trump, I just know that he's a bigot at best, or at worst, racist at best. But to not have empathy on people tells me that you're part of the problem no matter what side of the aisle you voted on. Because you're okay with people being ripped out of their homes illegally and saying you don't have a problem with it.
Empathy is the new liberal tears. They don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah, but you know what's so funny though? But they do. They just want it for them. They don't want to accept your empathy. The farmers want our empathy right now. Matter of fact, their outrage is about empathy. They're whining about the migrants and they're whining about crime. They want us to feel what they feel, but they don't give a fuck about what anybody else feels. Everything they say is projection of who they are. They talk about liberal tears. Who's whining? If you won, you got the House, the Senate, the Supreme. What are you whining for? Chicago never impacted you. If you don't live in Chicago, it's never really fucking impacted you. That's like living in North Dakota complaining about the southern border. What are we talking about?
But that's what I'm saying is that I think because a lot of MAGA believe, they'll tell you Trump is the greatest president we've ever had and things like that. It's because his number one attribute that's really satisfying MAGA is he is making liberals cry. It ain't that he's not impacting their lives in a much better way. Groceries has not went down. Inflation has not really went down. They're not paying, they're not making more money at their job or anything. It's watching liberals cry. That's what they're taking pleasure over. It's what it could be dirt poor, but as long as he's sticking it to the liberals, he's doing a good job.
And I understand that, Tim. But I also sit on this app, you do too, and you hear the MAGA come up all the time and say, "You guys on here crying again?" And it's like, we're having conversations. You guys want somebody to be crying. You guys want somebody to be distraught. But the reality is the same shit that's going to happen to us is going to happen to you.
Yeah. Can you imagine somebody saying you guys are on here crying again while they were talking about the demise of Charlie Kirk?
That's what listen. Tim, you can't make this stuff up. I wish this country, for one time, white America would examine themselves just one time. Just one time. Be honest, one time. And you'll see what everybody else sees. They're whining about, his supporters are whining every day. And they say that liberals are whining. You're about to get everything you thought you were going to get and more.
And you say they're not going to like it.
Let me say it this way, Tim. I was talking to somebody earlier who didn't have a problem with them going into the apartment complex. Same thing as Jeremy. But then I asked him, I said, do you think that there are not immigrants in rich white neighborhoods?
No.
Do you think, who keeps your rich white neighborhood all nice and pretty? Do you think there are not, so you're okay with them coming into your neighborhood?
Well, you heard about the school superintendent in Des Moines, that black guy. He was making they got him. He was making almost $300,000 a year, so he wasn't poor.
And listen, again, this is what I'm saying. They don't think that the things they aspire for others will impact them.
No.
Until they impact them. And they're going to be whining like the farmers are now. I heard a farmer earlier today say, and then I'll land my plane here. I heard a farmer earlier say about the potential bailout. He said, no. He said, let me get this straight. You're bailing me out with my money? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it, but that's a hell of a thing. He's right. That's exactly what's going to happen. That's your money giving back to you bragging about.
That's a Trump supporter who voted for Trump. Think about this now. He is a Trump supporter that voted for Trump, is getting what Trump was going to do. It directly impacts him, and he's pissed in the manner that's how bad it is. He's pissed at the aid that he might get because it's his fucking money to begin with.
Listen, I don't want to be as bad as Jeremy on the lack of empathy, but it is hard to have empathy for folks who voted for something that is hurting them when the man announced he was going to do something that was going to hurt them. I mean, if you're a farmer and you didn't realize tariffs and getting rid of all the immigrant workers, if you didn't realize that was going to hurt you, that's on you. I mean, you don't think any of this is going to come back and affect you at all?
No, they don't. That's the thing. They really believe that this shit was not going to touch them.
Yeah.
Cognitive dissonance and algorithm.
I think the issue is the belief was that if you get rid of the illegal immigrants because they're taking jobs from Americans, if you get rid of the illegal immigrants, Americans will flood the farms and hotels and do those hard-working jobs. They just assumed that Americans would show up and do that shit. I don't know why that wasn't like the farmers should have asked their kids or asked their relatives, would you want to come out here and do this at the pay they're giving them? They would have known. They know America's going to take these jobs.
But Tim, the farmers knew that. Here's the thing. This is why I said a lot of people aren't paying attention. It wasn't just the workers, the tariff, they got double slapped. So, because trust me, the farmers know them white folks ain't coming out in them fields. Or they're not willing to pay them, or they would have did it already.
Yeah.
So even when they heard that, they didn't think it would affect them. That's why they didn't have a problem with it. Because they figured they were protected by the privilege. They voted for him, he wouldn't harm me. I voted for him, he wouldn't harm me. They can take the Mexicans down by the border, but leave mine here.
Well, maybe Trump will ultimately bail out the farmers. You know, he does look out after the people that looked out after him. I got to move it on. But you know, Trump, he does look out after his own kind. So maybe he may bail out the farmers. I give you the last word.
When he can remember and when it's good for him, he's all transactional. The only reason he's bailing them out because they're thinking about midterms. They don't want to lose those sections of the country. That's the only reason he's thinking about bailing. He's transactional because none of this stuff. Listen, Tim, people truly aren't paying attention. I'm gonna say that.
But even the people that are about to lose their whole damn farm is still like, I would still rather have had Trump than Kamala Harris.
Yeah, because they ain't got that cardboard box yet. But listen, I'm gonna say this. Just remember this. Everything that we're seeing, all the money that they're spending, we have to pay attention. Somebody's gonna have to pay that. Who's gonna be paying that? So you got to think about his supporters. They got to think about all of this debt that he's running up. All this debt that's federal spending.
I don't think they're thinking about that, Mike. All right, man. Appreciate you coming in. I don't think they're thinking about it. I don't think they're thinking that far into the future, but appreciate you coming on. All right. Appreciate it. By the way, tap the screen, get you down up to 50,000. We can make that happen. Tap the screen, get me on up to 50. You know how the program is ran. We do not block, ban, or censor. Been MAGA friendly ever since day one. I would like to get more MAGA on the program. I understand the program has majority left-wing callers. I absolutely do not run from MAGA. We don't limit MAGA. We don't censor MAGA. We consider MAGA still to be preferred guests. It's just that, unfortunately, Trump is president now as opposed to Biden, and he's the one that takes most of the criticism. When Biden was in office, he was doing it. Shake the hand. What was that? Hey, that was cool. Who did that? Handsome conservative. Appreciate that. Never seen that. Crispy kisses. Thank you. But when Biden was in office, we were hammering Biden, and now that Trump is in office, he's in a hot seat, and it is what it is. But we had more MAGA viewers during the time we were hammering Biden. Now that Trump is in office, MAGA don't like to hear Trump criticized, so MAGA has kind of fled the program. Here's the difference I've seen, though. When I was hammering, when the show was hammering Biden and Kamala Harris, because it wasn't just me, my guests were hammering them too. When we were hammering Biden over the economy and the border and things like that, the left, you're a sellout, you're a raccoon, you're an Uncle Tom. All of the typical insults an African American might be called for pointing out things that were beneficial on the right. But they stayed in the forum. They were criticizing the hell out of me and others, but they stayed in the forum. Now, when Trump gets criticized, MAGA will call you the same insults, a lot of insults as well, but they leave. So the MAGA side of the aisle, in my opinion, they're not just a fan of free speech. They want Trump speech. They don't want free speech. They want pro-Trump speech. I don't know how to deliver a program like that because I'm going to criticize whoever deserves to be criticized, even if it's me, damn it. So we don't run a program where we're going to favor one side over the other, regardless of what's going on. And that's kind of how the MAGA side is you need to be constantly defending Trump. Otherwise, we don't have the time of day for you. I don't know how to have a program like that. Let me go ahead and continue on, though. Carmen, I think that is. We got an Instagram. Real quick, hang on a second here, Carmen. Will G says, did you see the chief of the Chicago police saying CPD, Chicago police, cannot get in the way of ICE if people call 911 and ICE-T gas the CPD in response? No, I didn't see that. I heard someone talking about the chief of police in Chicago. The way he handled it was wrong, but I haven't seen. Well, you say Ice-T, you're not talking about the actor, are you? I haven't heard that. What are you talking about? I need to know that. You're saying the actor from Law and Order? Is that what you're talking about? Somebody let me know that. He didn't handle anything wrong since alter ego. You're not talking about the actor Ice-T, are you? I haven't seen that. Democrat leaders are billionaires and millionaires, and their supporters are on welfare benefits. Rude boy, you don't think that applies to the Republican Party as well? You're saying the Democrat leaders are billionaires and millionaires, yet their supporters are on welfare benefits. I would submit to you the leaders of the Republican Party are millionaires and billionaires, and the Republicans don't even want to give you welfare. The Republican Party believes you should pull yourself up by your bootstraps. So you look at the Democrat areas, the liberal cities, and let's take your statement. The Democrat leaders in the liberal areas are millionaires and billionaires, and their constituents are on welfare. Now, when you go to the conservative areas, their leaders are millionaires and billionaires as well, but the welfare programs are not even available. That's why you will notice that Republican areas are significantly poorer than Democratic areas. There is no social safety net if you fall on your face. They don't do nothing for you. So I don't know if your comment is a flex whatsoever. No ice tear gas the Chicago Police Department trying to respond to a call. Oh, damn. So the Chicago police showed up and got gassed, or better yet, tear gassed by ICE? Man, that's bad. See, this is where, and I'll go back to the box, tap the screen, give me on up to 50,000, we'll go take the next caller. This is where not giving local police the common courtesy can cause problems. And that's what Trump is doing, because Trump is going against the wishes of the local police and the local politicians and local people in these areas. Portland don't want the National Guard and ICE in their city. Chicago don't. So Trump is sending these people in anyway. So because he is doing it without the blessing of the local people in the area, he's not going to call and give them a heads up. Like the apartment complex that was on the south side of Chicago where they're repelling and shit in there. My guess is they probably didn't tell the Chicago police they were going to do that. So what ends up happening is when you got federal agents operating in your backyard without telling you they're in your backyard, when you hear a noise back there, you go out with a firearm. And now you could end up in a gunfight with the federal agents. Now I'm saying it sounds like I'm saying this on a citizen level versus ICE. But no, I'm saying this on a level of police versus ICE. When I say your backyard, I mean, let's say you're a police department and you're running the city of Chicago. If ICE or federal agents start running missions inside the city of Chicago, they are in the Chicago Police Department's backyard. If they do not advise the Chicago police that they're operating and conducting raids and missions in the city of Chicago, when the citizens pick up the phone and dial 911, the police have no clue who these people are when they show up. Certainly when they're wearing masks and plain clothes. This could easily lead into a blue on blue incident because they don't know who these people are. Nobody told them that ICE is going to be on this block conducting a raid. So we don't got 10 911 phone calls that some guys are out here with guns and they're aiming them at people. So the police show up expecting to possibly be dealing with some heavily armed criminals. And they're not going to sit there and just take the word of some dude with a mask on and jeans holding an AR. This is how people can get killed with blue on blue incidents. They should actually tell them when they're doing that stuff. I don't believe they are, though. I don't believe they are. Looking in the comments, though, they're thinking it's all about immigrants. No, it's for all of us. Yeah, because they're not just grabbing immigrants. They're actually grabbing people first and then checking credentials. So you're grabbing a lot of Americans as well. And that's going to lead to some Americans being angry, acting out. Now you're arresting them for disorderly conduct or something else when they never would have been arrested if you didn't fuck with them. Are we at 50? Let me go back to the box. Don't fall for it. Well, it's hard to control your emotions sometimes. It really is. Continuing on with the program, no, Gangsta Grandma. Tell me that's normal behavior to get an entertainer's tour bus on fire. What are you talking about? Gangsta Grandma, good evening.
You stay fluffing, don't you? You
No,
be fluffing. Now look, let me tell you something, okay? I don't really want to I do not want to get onto your black ass tonight because I'm high as shit. But let me tell you,
are you ever sober?
well, no, I'm high.
Are you
Trust me.
ever sober? Are you ever sober?
No, I'm high on life, Pookie. I got me some gas. Honey, I own a dispensary. I got it all, honey. And I'm the welfare queen. Like Rude Boy said, I'm a welfare queen.
You
You
got you
feel me?
some. You got you some of that cheap, lower price Trump gas. Now that he's bringing the
I
price of
sure
gas
did.
down.
I sure did. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, you want a MAGA
I'm
hat?
gonna tell you to afford my car, no.
You want a MAGA hat?
Hell no, I would never touch that. You a traitor for real. How you could touch on that? Ugh. Now let's get down to some serious shit. You heard that white boy Jeremy? That was white privilege right there. There were babies being cuffed with those ties. 3, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds going out naked at 3 o'clock in the morning, and there was none of them wasn't illegal. None of them
You're
was.
telling me they zip tied a 3 to 5 year old?
They zip tied all the kids. And let me tell you this, with your little maggot asses. They were all Americans. All of them. They had one van for Hispanics, the other van for black folks.
How many? How many? So there was no illegal immigrants taken out of that building.
None. They even had seniors in there. They kicked down the doors, gave a flash. They did that. All Americans. All of them were Americans. I seen the news conference when the mayor said he's taking them to court.
I thought I heard that they did arrest at least a few illegal immigrants.
No, they didn't. None of them. They arrested everybody there. One van for Hispanics, the other van was for black folks.
So what do you think the purpose of this was?
What do you think? They don't like our black asses. They don't like Hispanics. They don't like brown folks. They sure don't like us black asses. So what do you think that is, huh?
So
And then you had Jeremy, who's white tee looking, ugly looking, $15 ass. Oh, well, I had no empathy. Well, bitches, they're coming for you.
what about
Yeah.
what about what Advent Comics said in the comments? He said they had 5 search warrants.
They had no search warrants. Even the mayor said that. None. No search warrants. It was on, the mayor was all talking about it. They didn't even know what the hell was going on. You let Blackhawks come up in here. Like Chicago was like the enemy.
Yeah. I don't. To me,
That's crazy.
as you may have heard me tell Jeremy while you're accusing me of fluffing, I told him that that is what leads to people hating the police doing stuff like that.
You know what? That's your homies that you want to kiss ass to. That's your friends that you want to kiss ass to. You want to be their friend so fucking bad, but they don't even like your black ass.
What the hell makes
And
you
just
say?
saying what Jeremy showed his true colors tonight. I don't have no empathy for kids. Well, guess what, bitch? We don't have no empathy for white teen men.
And handsome stubby fingers, I see you says 10 points to Gangsta Grandma for Jeremy. So you're kind of happy that she's calling Jeremy out like that. No, listen, I didn't agree with him tonight, but
But see how your bud, you want to suck the cock, bud?
What?
That's why I have no respect. I have no respect for the maggots. None. I will call them out. I'll spit on them. I'll shit you know. I'll beat their ass too.
Okay, wait,
I wish they would come up against me.
well, first of all, Jeremy is not a maggot.
He voted for him. He's a maggot. He's a maggot. He voted for him. He's a fucking maggot. And he's a white teen man. And I showing that white privilege tonight. Say I don't have no empathy for black and brown kids that was being out there butt naked and shit with no shoes on being cuffed. What kind of bullshit was that?
I don't have an answer for that. I see in the comments, Phyllis says MAGA baby. So there's one of your MAGA. Phyllis is in the comments saying it, but I don't know. I don't agree with what took place in Chicago. I like I told Mike.
It's going to be happening a lot more. If you think that shit it's going to be happening a lot more. Tim, what they voted for was a complete racist. They knew what they was going for. This is one hell of a expensive racist shit.
But you
He's
don't.
trying to tear down everything. He is.
But you don't believe that all people that voted for Trump are racist, do
You
you?
are still standing with him. You are a racist.
So you're saying anybody that voted for Trump, if you're still supporting him now, you are a racist.
You're racist. You know what they're doing. You know what they're doing. Then you have idiots and a couple of idiots. Well, you know what? Democrats are on welfare. No, bitch, we're not. I'm in a blue state. We got money. We got money over here.
Well,
We got welfare cream.
there are some Democrats on welfare, but I believe
There's
it's
not a lot, Pookie. Most of them are white tea. Most of them are in red states. Why do you think our asses bail them out all the fucking time? Like New York, like my state, California.
I can't disagree with it. Most of the welfare recipients and entitlement recipients are in red states. I don't disagree with that. Real quick, Tyron Blue says, Tim, what do you think about the Carolina judge who ruled against Trump, house being set on fire? It sounded suspicious, but according to the media, they're saying that it was an accident. So they're saying it doesn't look like it was.
It's always an accident. It's an accident right now because the media is all up Donald Trump's ass.
I thought all of the violence. Wait a minute. I thought all the violence was coming from the radical left. Are you saying a right winger would set somebody's house on fire?
Yeah, it's all the white tea people. White tea men are the most violent. Let's get it straight. The maggots are the violent ones. They even said the Triple K, Proud Boys, all of them are the number one, sleeper cells. They don't like our asses.
I don't know if we've seen any evidence that the Proud Boys have acted violently lately. I mean, January 6th we know, but outside of that, they haven't done anything.
We don't know what they haven't done.
Okay, but you can't blame.
Not your homies, though. Your white tea homies, your little beloved maggots.
I got them.
So bad, but they'll put you in a fucking tree in New York second. And you seen Jeremy, he don't give a fuck about your ugly ass neither. He don't got no sympathy. What if somebody beat your ass down? He'll come up and say, well, you deserved it.
Well, obviously, Gen X is a Proud Boy, and we talk to him all the time, but.
Oh, yeah, but guess what? He can't even say he's a Proud Boy no more. The black church owns that shit right there.
Yeah, they did win that lawsuit. My guess is they'll figure out a different way to say they're Proud Boys, though.
Well, who would be proud to be a fucking racist? And you over there kissing their ass.
But there are members of the Proud Boys that are not white people.
Tim? You can't be this slow. Did your mama drop you on your head, keep your eyes on your big head?
What?
You got a big ass head?
What?
Your mama dropped you on the head a couple of fucking times.
According to Gen X, they have a whole lot of Native Americans. They even have black people in the Proud Boys.
They don't got. I know they got a lot of Cubanos, but a lot of Cubanos think they white.
And I seen.
They want to be white so bad.
I
don't think they got a lot. Huh?
I see in the comments, Sharon is asking, "Have you been drinking?"
No, I'm high as shit. I don't have to drink. I'm high as shit. And hey, you would. What you gonna do? Beat my ass? Huh?
No.
I don't think not.
So you believe these?
Yeah, I know my dispensary. I go and get my shit all the time. I got potent shit. Bitches can't afford it.
So you believe that? What do you think? Trump's presidency is just a method of operation as racism?
It's all racism. He came after everybody that went against him. He don't like black and brown folks. It's all this shit. This is all about revenge and stuff. You think he gives a fuck? You don't give a fuck about the poor white trash, the white tea trash that voted for him. Thinking they gonna rescue me and all the young people. Oh, he's gonna lower diapers and every damn thing else. No, bitch, he raised them up. Because he don't give two fucks about you, white trailer trash asses.
Well,
let's be real.
Well, I think everybody would agree that Trump is vengeful. But you're saying racist, maybe because when you talk about African Americans that favor Trump, he's not going after them.
Let me tell you something about the ratty raccoons that voted for him. They ratty raccoons. They want to be white so bad. You know what? The house ninjas. Yes, master. They like to get fucked with them. Yes, master. They like to goggle hit all his uncooked protein, his burnt ass mayonnaise and shit. They like it like that because they really think black and brown maggots really think that they're gonna be at his damn table, but they're not. They're never gonna be at his table. Even the poor white trailer trash that voted for him, thinking they gonna save them. They're never gonna be at his table.
You think Tim Scott and Byron Donalds voted for Trump because they want to be white?
Yeah, they're house ninjas. Yes, master.
I don't think they want to be white. I think
Yes, Tim. They're
No.
just like you. You wanna be white so bad, Timmy. You wanna get up there. Oh, I gotta be their friends. I gotta show them respect. Fuck them and respect. See, that's how it be, and you are different. I don't have to kiss nobody's fucking ass.
This is not-
And I show the maggots that put us in this situation, the people that put us in this situation. Fuck them, and I would never respect them. I'll spit on them before I respect them.
Okay, that's horrible. But you know we're not kissing anybody's ass, gangster.
You are kissing ass because you so oh yes, yeah, and you let them talk all that BS shit. You barely even push fucking back. You push back harder on me than you push back on that little maggot ass.
No, I just ask questions, and I see Leroy saying I get to the point where I just want to tune her out. See, my guess
Well,
saying.
you kiss my ass too. With his little sorry ass sucking on a white man's cock. How does it taste like uncooked sausage? Yes.
All right, gangster. Sometimes you throw me for a loop. There's no fluff in here tonight, okay?
I don't know about you. Let me tell you, you be fluffing every damn night. What you talking about, Willis? All they gotta do is say something to you, and you be like, yes, master, and you be all over the place cupcaking with your ugly bald-headed ass, and then you'll be saying, why you be treating me so bad? That's why I treat you so fucking bad, because you be cockeying with the fucking enemy. Maggots are enemy. Do you understand that? They don't like none of us. They treated fucking black and brown kids like shit. They stormed Chicago, and you don't think they're gonna do it again? They're gonna do this shit again in a different state. The judges are trying to stand up to them, and like, what is it? Oregon?
How can we possibly suggest that MAGA and Trump is divisive when you're making statements like MAGA is our enemy? You just said that.
The truth hurts. It's the truth. Now, if there wasn't the truth, then yeah, I'd be lying. But it's the truth. They are divided. They did this shit to us. They got the damn racists in. This was all about race. They do not like us. You see what Jeremy said tonight? That was white privilege talking right then. That was white privilege. Don't give a fuck if kids were being handcuffed. Well, I have no empathy. Well, I don't have no empathy for the white team man neither. I have none for him. And when this shit starts hurting him, I don't give a fuck. Eat it, bitch. And if when your insurance goes sky high, eat it, bitch.
All right, gangster.
I'm being honest.
I believe you.
All right, go. And then you say, oh, you sound racist. No, I'm giving it right back at them. Look how they're treating us. And they did this shit, and then you be kissing their ass.
No asses will be kissed tonight, but I appreciate you coming on.
I bet they won't.
Thank you. She makes me work for it. Anyway, tap the screen. Thank you for the TikTok cap there, handsome Agent Boo. I see somebody said she is dragging me. Listen, I believe that, some folks are more passionate than others about their opinion. I let them speak. I see Char Hill says she is racist. She is racist. Wow. I believe in letting people speak. That's why I say we're an uncensored program. If she was MAGA, she would be allowed to speak as well. When you come up, that's how we run the program. If you do want to be a caller, by the way, we're currently on X, TikTok, and Instagram. If you have any of those apps, the handsome liberal across all platforms, come on over. We'll bring you right up. You don't have to agree with any damn thing anyone says. You can be critical of anybody on this program, including yours truly. What do we say? We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. If you favor uncensored speech, I always say give your boy a sub if you're watching on YouTube. Follow us if you're watching on TikTok, Instagram, or X. Thank you for that, handsome conservative. Appreciate that. And King Finn, we just hung up with a caller less than a minute ago. There's no bloviating that quick. You got to give your boy a few seconds here. Continuing on though, she might be high, but I smell wet playtime. Are you trying to bang Gangsta Grandma Handsome Stubby Fingers? His name is Handsome Stubby Fingers. Appreciate the support, Stubby Fingers. Says she might be high, but I smell wet playtime. Yikes. All right, continuing on with the, somebody asked me, Latoya, I think it is. Let me bring you, I don't know what, for some reason it's, TikTok is trying to censor some of the comments, and you guys know I don't believe in that, so I'm trying to because I see somebody's typing, Phyllis has been typing MAGA baby. I don't mind you typing that. I don't know why TikTok is not letting that get through, but anyway, I just approved to let it get through. Latoya says, host, are you MAGA? No, I actually lean a little bit. I actually lean left of center. I'm not MAGA. And the reason, that often leads people to say, well, if you're not MAGA, why the hell do you have a MAGA cap up? And I always make it clear that on this program, we're about free speech. I do believe conservatives, Republicans, and definitely MAGA does not always get a fair shake in the media. So anytime I'm on live, you'll always see the MAGA hat to let you know, regardless of your politics, if you are MAGA, you are free to speak here without any censorship. You'll always see the MAGA hat because this is indeed a MAGA-friendly program. Now, a lot of liberals don't like me saying that, as you may have noticed, but we always have been MAGA-friendly. We always will be MAGA-friendly, but I lean somewhat left of center. I don't think everything about MAGA is awful, but I lean a little bit more left in them. And by the way, there's a difference between MAGA 1.0 and MAGA 2.0 because a lot of my MAGA guests that watch or used to watch will say, well, you've changed. No, I'm the same. Wherever I am, let's say I'm a notch or two left of center. I seem different in Trump 2.0 because Trump himself has went further to the right. I'm in the same position I've been. Trump is not. The first Trump administration is far closer to center than the second Trump administration. Trump 2.0 is went way to the right. So people are going to seem like that they've changed and went further left because he's left them as he's went further right. So Trump has went far enough right that people who are dead center are almost now leftists at this point. I mean, you got some media outlets that were normally considered as somewhat center that are now viewed as left-wing media because Trump has kind of put himself in a position where if you don't agree with him, you're a leftist. Don't even matter if you've been a card-carrying Republican your whole life. If you don't agree with him, you're suddenly a liberal or some kind of rhino now. That was some funny shit, says Peter's Warhead Vince. Well, look, I let the people speak, and thank you for that super chat. Real quick before we continue on with the next caller, Trump is Hitler. Damn, Jack. Says Trump is like Adolf. Really? Absolutely the truth. The liberal news media on TV don't give a fair shake to conservatives. True. I agree with that. I mean, there are some liberal programs like The View where they almost never have a conservative on there. So I do agree with that. And here we will give you a fair shake. I can't control MAGA running away from the fucking program because they don't like to be criticized. That I can't do anything about. But if you come on, we'll let you speak. Tap the screen, get us up to 75,000. Help your boy out. Help your boy reach that TikTok cap goal. It's not that hard to do. Let me go back to the box. Miss Mobetta, good evening. Welcome to the program. That's Majin Buu in there, evil super Majin Buu. Trump isn't farther right now. He's the same as the first term. No, he's not. First term, he wasn't. Hang on a second, Mr. Mobetta. He wasn't sending the military in the cities. We didn't have an abortion ban. They weren't putting religion in schools. He's way further to the right now than he was back then. He's way further. I don't know why somebody would say that. Go ahead, Mr. Mobetta.
Because now he's out for he's just straight
revenge now. All of that.
In a straight authoritarianism.
Yeah, he wasn't firing generals and shit. I mean, yeah, he's way further to the right.
Just going around here firing people and stuff like that. And like I said, he's the battery to the people that are racist. Maybe even if he's not, he's the battery to the ones that are. And now that since CK has been taken out, it's gotten even worse. You see the guy in Jersey that he hit the two girls with his car, unalived them, Then he ended up getting out and then went on YouTube and was talking about it. Yeah, because they said something bad about CK.
I don't.
Say, why is he out?
Yeah, no, I don't get that either. I don't understand. Listen, Charlie Kirk, for what he did, he amounts to somebody who got a lot of youth voters interested in the conservatives. I mean, he preached Christianity, but I don't get how he got propelled to hero status, other than Trump liked him.
Antinomianism or whatever that's called. Where they don't feel that they need to follow the Christian law. They use it just by the name. I'm a Christian. You're a Christian lie. A Christian lie, because nothing you do is Christian-like. It's not Christ-like.
Well, they do.
We need to stop doing that.
But anytime somebody loses their life, they do offer them thoughts and prayers.
Of course.
Well,
does that work? Well, again, Trump is like that firefighter that went around starting fires just so he could put them out. That's his way of feeling that I am king. He wants people to come to him and beg him for things.
well, that may happen.
Again, like the farmers. You want farmers begging for money that already belongs to them?
Yeah, that's
He's threatening everybody but Israel.
why. I've been talking about our defense of Israel to a few people today, and the right wingers. I mean, even a left winger I talked to that's a devoted Christian. They do believe the Bible says we are obligated to protect Israel. They believe
Like
that.
I said, the Israel that in the beginning of times and the start of Israel is not the same Israel that we're doing now. They were colonized just like we were colonized here.
Yeah, my question is, for
Yeah.
people like Ted Cruz and all them saying that we must protect Israel because of what the Bible says and all that, I'm like, so if Israel elects, let's say, a Stalin or Hitler-like dude that's starting fights everywhere, you're telling me you're going to honor the Bible and protect that dude?
Yeah, right. You know why they protect him? Because Trump put it in law to where they have to protect Israel until the year 2028. So it's written. He wrote that. Nobody else. He put that in play where Israel has to be protected until the year 2028. And I mean, giving them $2 to $4 billion at a time.
We're going to one day end up with our own version of October 7th because of us constantly backing them. I mean, because a lot of the adversaries of Israel know that Israel could not do what they're doing without the blessing of the United States. So we make for a good target. If you don't like Israel because of what they're doing, the United States is almost like the person putting the bullets in the gun. So we qualify as well.
They just boom boom over the weekend again. Trump is his bitch.
Damn.
Trump is Netanyahu's bitch. My story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, the thing about it is, though, appreciate that, handsome conservative. Thank you.
Look at that Galaxy M.
My boy on fire. Thank you. But what I was going to say is that as long as we're going by the biblical prophecy that you got to bless Israel, then Netanyahu and Israelis know it don't matter what we do. They got God telling them to help us out, so they're going to always be here.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, let's be clear. They were saying Genocide Joe has got to go as well. So one like Joe Biden was not defending Israel as well. He was doing the same shit, just not to the level of Trump. Carl, thank you, Carl Hamilton.
They have to. But like I said, Trump is threatening to withhold monies and all of that stuff here, cutting programs and doing everything if people don't comply. You're not talking that same game with Netanyahu.
Yeah.
You're not talking that same game. If you don't stop, you claim you can go in there and get this war stopped and all of that stuff. Why didn't you have that same energy with him?
Because of what I said, though. Because Trump got a lot of his support from the evangelical right, and if they believe what the Bible is saying, that we have to.
There's Stephen Miller, because Stephen Miller is run. He's Trump's batter.
Yeah. So if you got a lot of your support, if you got a lot of.
He's a horrible man. He's a demon. He's definitely a demon.
Based on what?
Just his speech, period.
What is he?
Like they said, they had for CK's memorial. Who sells merch at a goddamn memorial.
Yeah, that Charlie Kirk thing, fireworks.
At a memorial talking about you hate your enemies.
Yeah.
Come on. This stuff is not, it ain't hard. It doesn't take rocket science.
We talked about that on the show, and I had a lot of MAGA that said, look, they went after Trump. He has a legitimate reason to hate him, even if he wants to say he hates him at somebody's funeral. MAGA defended that.
Because we already know MAGA is mush. Mine's under Satan's hold.
I had somebody come on the program yesterday and
Under
tell
Satan's hate.
you know, Miss Mobet, I had a guest come on the program, a long-term viewer yesterday, and told me I worship Satan.
I heard it. I heard that.
Because I watch porn.
I was cracking up laughing. He popped on my live earlier. I seen him in the comments. He didn't say nothing though. I said, Lord, you can't make this shit
Yeah,
up.
he said I worship Satan like
But
God.
again, that's why there's always been a separation of the church and the state. You understand what I'm saying? You can't intertwine the two.
Well, not when it's gonna be sending us to war and shit like that, and when you're defending somebody. Yeah, you're defending Netanyahu. You got Netanyahu that's acting rogue on his own. You can't just put the might of the United States behind somebody that you can't control.
See, the thing is, they talk about love and all of that. Thank you for the gift. They talk about love. Do they know God is love? That it said that in the Bible. You don't hear them saying anything about that. They believe they trying to hijack God like they hijacked the country.
Well, they love Trump. Whoa!
Meaning that it only belongs to us. It doesn't belong to you. God put Trump here. God sent Trump. God is the creator of all of us, good, bad, or indifferent.
Well, how about this? Rude Boy 80 in the comments says Trump is the greatest president to ever exist against the old order.
That's in his opinion. That's in his opinion, and I totally disagree.
There's a whole lot of people that feel that way.
I totally disagree. And if you go check those numbers, what I seen, he has the lowest rating right now.
I don't know. Let me ask you this though.
He might be popular. He's
very popular.
But that doesn't make him the best president.
Let me ask you this: if they were to hold an election today, Trump against Kamala, who do you think would win?
Kamala will win.
You think so?
Yep. And listen, Joey, I'm not a girl. I'm a woman, and I ain't gotta shut up. You can't shut me up. Now, don't make me get out of character and get in my gangster, because gangster grandma ain't got shit on me. I'm gonna warn you. That's my only warning.
I'm not sure, but I'm about to call you gangster grandma. I'm not sure, Mr. Mo Better, though, that Trump would lose to Kamala. I talked to a lot of MAGA that, hold on, hear me give you an example. Like Jeremy makes it clear he regretted his vote. He wouldn't vote for Kamala, though.
He don't know who the fuck he would vote for. He gotta get out the basement first. He gotta get out that basement first. You know, listen. Like I said, Trump is a populist, and if it wasn't for Elon Musk, he would have lost against Kamala this first time, even with her only running in 107.
I don't know. Like Peter Warren.
Yeah, you could deny it if you want to. You could go look at all of the votes and stuff that they're currently still investigating because of those numbers were rigged.
Well, Peter Warrenhead says Kamala was a basket case. I mean, a lot of folks did not see her as a good candidate, though, Mr. Montgomery.
You know why they didn't see it? Because they wasn't looking. They weren't looking for her to have anything good under her belt. All they saw that she was a black woman. First of all, do you know that they're not going to have a black woman running this country? And they'll do it by any means necessary, Tim.
Yeah, but Obama was a black man, and they voted him in by a lot.
Different, because misogyny and homophobia is why Kamala lost.
Misogyny and homophobia, so no racism.
Oh, it's some of that too.
Wow.
There's a lot of that, believe it or not.
What about her just being a
racist is not gonna come out and admit I'm a racist.
I think there's a little bit more to it than I'll explain, but before I do, in the comments, Handsome Stubby Finger says, Tim, MAGA ain't shit. He says, and kick Trump's ankles ain't shit also. Did you just come back from doing an ice raid? Looks like you're wearing an army t-shirt. No, I was about to take my ass to bed. I mean, seriously, the Chicago thing, I just couldn't go to sleep on. I'm like, I got to talk to the folks. I was going to skip
You
tonight.
heard Fat boy Raggedy Mouth, Garbage Pail Kid Gen X said he wanted to call himself a Proud Boy so bad, but like I said, he gonna fuck around. They can use that name if they want to and be sued. They was going up to claim they was going up to Portland.
How can you really sue individuals, though? I mean, if they're not doing anything with the name to make money, or if they're just calling themselves Proud Boys as a group, I mean, I guess you could give them a cease and desist order, but I mean, what can you really?
Yeah. I can't. I couldn't get into specifics of how they go about doing it, but remember, they're not allowed to use that name anymore. So now you're going to see a lot more America First.
Proud Homies.
The Boogaloo Boys or whatever they call.
Proud Homies, Proud Dudes. I mean, you can come up with a synonym.
Yeah, but see, the thing with Trump, they're not admitting to his health is failing also. If you pay attention, he has very limited mobility with his left hand. Trump's always talked with both hands. Now he only uses his right hand and leaves the left hand resting.
Is that
when
right?
He's sitting at the desk, his left hand is always put over because I personally believe it looks like he has some sort of stroke or something close to it, to where his mobility is limited in his left hand. Pay attention.
Now I am going to pay attention to that. I have not seen that.
Go look at almost every video from today back. You'll see it.
Wow, left side. So you think he had like a what do they call it, a mini stroke or something?
He could have had a mini stroke or anything. Listen, he's of age. He's having with swollen ankles. That means you're having heart problems. That means your heart's not pumping properly. You're having circulation issues. Don't take my word for it. Go look it up.
Yeah, I see.
I'm making up shit.
Yeah, I see Alicia Bing in the comments is saying those 5 days he was missing, maybe something happened to him and they were keeping him hidden for it. Because he don't normally be missing for 5 days. That was unusual.
Yeah, he don't go missing for shit. Any opportunity for him to have his face plastered all over the media, he's there. Because that's what he is. He's still stuck in his apprentice era. You know what I mean? He's used to that shit.
Well, here's one for you. Bobby prays for Booster says, Miss Mo Better, don't get our hopes up. In other words,
I'm not wishing anything on anybody. I just pay attention to what I see.
Well, let's put it this way. Regardless of what you're talking about in regards to Trump's mobility, his mind is still there. I mean, maybe some degradation. The guy's almost 80, but his mind is still there.
He still has some. His mind has never been fully there, Tim. Come on now. He can't. He'll start a sentence like, "Hey Tim, how you doing? I ate a sandwich last week, and come on, bro. I'm not gonna give him that much credit.
Okay.
His brain be all over the place. Either he has ADHD, ADD, or some kind of cognitive issues going on. He can never stay on topic when somebody asks him something.
That is true, but maybe he's just used to.
And that's not just him talking around a situation. He's incapable of answering a complete sentence and staying on topic. That's an issue.
Maybe he's just used to getting in as much as he can. He's a media darling. He knows how to run the media. So I don't.
No, you know what it is? Is his followers actually get up there and speak and say, "Oh, well, this is what he meant."
Yeah.
No, he meant exactly what he said.
They do often interpret his messages
They do it all
meaning
the
something
time.
else. I get them all the time. Miss Mobetta, I do gotta move it on, but yeah, I cannot tell you how many times I've been told, you took something Trump said out of context. They do have their own special interpretation for him.
It's insane. It's insane. And I pray for our country. No, I'm no doctor. Y'all shut the fuck up. Y'all keep licking his orange ass. I ain't.
All right.
And now, what if I was to say I ain't got no empathy for that? With Jeremy at that's fucking disgusting. Like I said, CK didn't have empathy either. And now people should have empathy for him.
It's a good argument. Miss Mobetta, thank you. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen. Get us on up to 85,000. We can make that happen. Let your thumbs not be lazy. Do you think Trump is God's tool? Peters, no, I do not. But I know a lot of people do. In fact, I've been to a couple MAGA rallies, and one of them I went to. I
Hey,
was
boy, shut up.
all right. I'm gonna move it on. I went to a rally myself, and I had somebody tell me personally that Trump was
You
putting.
don't want me to get off, Tim.
What the fuck are they doing? Yeah, what the hell's going on?
Because they know I'm not shake.
Well, I'm gonna have to ask you to you go ahead and drop it because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's
All
going
right. All right.
on. Okay, yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
shit. It won't let me do it either.
What the fuck? They're trying to marry us, baby. They trying to marry us, baby. What the hell? You about to be mine?
We have a fly ass sweater, Tim.
Why is it doing that? I don't know.
I don't know.
So you can't drop and I can't drop.
Can you let me see.
Okay, we're trying to move the program on, folks, but for some reason the app is not letting us drop. Okay, there we go. She dropped. All right. Shit, I had an easier time getting rid of my ex-wife than that. Okay, look, tap the screen, get us on up to 85,000. After all the groveling Ghislaine Maxwell did, Trump is acting like he never heard of her name and will think about a pardon. Trump ain't shit. Real quick, I hit the wrong key. But that is true. I heard that today. Once again, President Trump, because I think that, what was it, the Supreme Court said they will not hear her case. And once again, the media asked President Trump, would he consider pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell? And he gave nothing short of a bullshit answer. I don't know why I just flipped my damn TikTok around to show the junkie part of my setup here, but I don't know why the man won't just come out and say, no, she's a convicted pedophile. I'm not going to pardon her. He cannot say, no, he's been asked twice now if he's going to pardon her. And both times he would not give a definitive answer, which... Look, I'm speculating here. I'm going to make it clear I'm speculating here. But the only reason why I think he won't give a clear-cut answer is because it's likely he's going to do it. Now, we know he went and interviewed Ghislaine, or his people went and interviewed her. One of his former personal attorneys went and interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell. She obviously exonerated Trump and said that Trump didn't do anything wrong that she know of. Suddenly, she ends up in minimum security. Her life has been substantially improved. And my speculation is they told her, if you cooperate, you got to stay incarcerated until he finishes his term and then he'll pardon you. I'm speculating right now that when Trump leaves office, Ghislaine Maxwell will leave federal custody. That is my speculation right now, is that eventually Trump will let that woman back out. Trump will let that woman out. And I think she got, 20 years or something? She's supposed to be in jail for a long time. She's not going to serve that. The way Trump is speaking about pardoning her, to me, is very telling. He will not say, I won't pardon her. He's giving these evasive answers. Well, I haven't really thought about it. I could do it. She's a serial pedophile. Why not just say, no, there's no way in hell I would do that? We're talking about the law and order president, the guy who's tough on crime, the guy who's deploying the National Guard to Chicago, Los Angeles, Portland, and D.C., being asked would he actually pardon a convicted pedophile many times over. And he can't say, no, I would not pardon her. He's going to let that woman out. I'm going to go ahead and go on the record now and state that when Trump's term is over with, when Trump leaves and he issues pardons, Ghislaine Maxwell is going to be one of those pardons. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think I am. He is going to pardon that woman. By the way, just even if he doesn't pardon her, upgrading her from maximum security to a minimum security camp with no explanation, that's enough for an outcry. You don't need to pardon her. What he's done already is bad enough. Why did you put her in minimum security and not tell the people anything about why she's there? No explanation for why you would greatly improve the quality of her life. To me, that alone is enough to question it. Steve22 says Trump is doing amazing. Steve, I would ask you, do you believe sending Ghislaine Maxwell to minimum security is an amazing job? Do you favor him doing that? Is that amazing to you? Let me know in the comments. Was that something amazing? Give Miss Mobetta my blessing and great work on your show. 50,000 points. Love ya. Handsome Stubby Fingers. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you all. Thank you, Handsome Stubby Fingers. Diddy isn't in Diddy is not in maximum security. Well, Diddy is in jail right now, TB. He just got sentenced to prison for the first time, what was it, yesterday or whatever? So we don't know what Diddy's been sent to. I don't know, but Diddy is not, what Diddy got convicted of is nowhere near as serious as what Ghislaine Maxwell went down for. So I don't think I would compare Diddy to Ghislaine Maxwell. First of all, Diddy wasn't abusing children. So it's a big difference on Diddy versus Ghislaine. So I don't buy comparing those two. Diddy got convicted of essentially hiring a prostitute across state lines. And the courts used the fact that he was caught on video beating a woman, for which he was not being charged, as an excuse to give him a much greater sentence. Without that Cassie, whatever her name is, without that Cassie video, that dude would be out right now. He's only in there off of those charges because they saw him beating a woman and they wanted to punish him. So, but looking in the comments, I'll give credit where credit is due. 2016 to 2019, despite Trump, the country was better then. Really? 2016 to 2019, that is obviously Trump's term. You said, I'll give credit where it's due. 2016 to 2019, despite Trump, the country was better then. You know, are you comparing 2016 to 2019 till now to the Biden administration? I mean, what areas are you comparing it to? Now, I do believe most folks felt the first 3 years of the Trump administration were better than all 4 years of the Biden administration. The economy, there were no wars going on under Trump, and there are reasons to back it up. There are reasons to back it up. Now, many would tell you it is because Trump inherited the Obama economy or whatever, but the job numbers under Trump were great. 2016 to 2019 in America, and like you said, you stated it perfectly. You said despite Trump. 2016 to 2019, despite the divisive things Trump was doing, yeah, the country was receiving high marks in a lot of areas. That's a good comment, Bobby Praise for Boosters. I don't disagree with that. It's a good comment. The economy was not bad for the first 3 years under Trump's term. Like I said, there were no wars going on all over the damn place under Trump's term. Price of fuel and things like that were reasonable under Trump's term. Groceries weren't that. Yeah, it was not that bad the first 3 years. Obviously, you're saying the first 3 years because the fourth year during the pandemic, things got to be miserable. And it's hard to give Trump high marks in his handling of the pandemic. In my opinion, his handling of the pandemic was dismal. It was terrible. So the fourth year of his term was fucked up. And obviously the first year this time, it's chaotic. What he's doing now is just chaotic. There's no bragging about the economy. The job numbers are not that great. Inflation's not coming down. There are wars happening every damn where. I mean, it's just not that great this time. Looking in the comments, it takes years for the economy to change. Diane, I got to disagree with you. It doesn't take years for the economy to change if you do something to deliberately fuck it up. All of those tariffs, threatening our allies so that they're no longer coming to America as tourists, it don't take years if you're doing something to deliberately fuck it up. So I don't believe it takes years. Trump has only been in office for 8 months, and there are some economies in this country that have suffered greatly just from those well, it's been more than 8 months. January 20th till now, maybe 9, 10 months, whatever. But no, when you're doing things to deliberately fuck it up, you can destroy the economy much faster. I mean, you're telling the Canadians and shit you don't need them, so the Canadian tourism is down, the European tourism is down, so that places like Disney World and Vegas are ailing. You can fuck it up pretty quick when you do something like that. Not true. In 2008, we had a crash, and Obama turned it around in 1 to 2 years. We did have Obama turn the economy around significantly. That is true. All right, let me go back to the box. Somebody says arrest Gavin Newsom for what? What did he do? Tap the screen, get us on up to 85,000. Even Evil Majin Boo, appreciate you holding. I tried to bring you up, but I appreciate you holding. Because the orange stain had a lot of smart people around him back then. Now he's got a complete and utter clown show. Wow, says Wayne McDonald. Now it is true that the people that were around Trump in his first administration were far more qualified than the people he have now. Because the people that were around Trump in his first administration, Trump did not, I don't think he expected to win the first time. And he was smart enough to know he didn't have all the knowledge it took to run a presidency. So he surrounded himself with people that were very knowledgeable, had a lengthy resume in Washington politics. The second go round, Trump feels far more intelligent about how things go. And this time he surrounded himself with people that he is as equally smart ass or even smarter than. I mean, he's surrounded himself with some people that know nothing about what they're doing. Kennedy is a perfect example. Kennedy is woefully underqualified. He's akin to an ambulance chaser all of a sudden being a judge. Like, this dude is not qualified to do this. That's Pete Hegseth. Kennedy rather. Pete Hegseth is another one that is certainly not qualified for what he's doing. So his first go around, he had far more qualified people in than he does now. Who cares? Why are people so invested in other people like they didn't care about you? Why care about them? I don't get what you're saying there. I can't pronounce your name, Axio or whatever. What is that thing on my screen? It's a black man talking shit. Good evening, Drumword. He knew he was going to court, so he ran. Who are you talking about? Let me go back to the box. Tap the screen, get us on up to 90,000. Going to keep. We might be to cross 100,000. Some of you folks, let your thumbs not be lazy. Mimi Tumati, is that what that says? Good evening, Mimi. If it brings her up, I'm having some trouble with the box, I think, here. We'll give it a minute to see what happens. If not, we'll go on to the next caller. Definitely not qualified. Yeah, Kennedy and Hegseth, to me, both of them are not qualified. I don't think either one of them are qualified for what they're doing. John O. Let's see if John comes up. I'm having trouble. I may have to reset this damn thing. It's not bringing up my guest okay, there we go. I think John O is coming up.
How's it going, man? What's up?
Not much at all. So what brought you on tonight? What am I getting wrong?
I don't think you're getting anything wrong, man. I was just listening to that guy you were talking to earlier, and it sounded like more race baiting than more of we're all Americans.
You're talking about Jeremy, the one that did not have any concern of the folks being dragged out of that apartment complex.
Oh, what apartment? No, you were talking to some black gal. Yeah, I don't know about the.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. What? Okay, you said some race baiting. Give me an example of what was said that you view as race baiting.
Well, she said, "Damn it, man! It's been like 45 minutes." She was talking about it's more or less Trump supporters are privileged and everybody else. And you know what, sir? I can't remember now because I've been watching other stuff.
Fair enough. Well, let me just say this. You do agree that Trump looks out for those who look out for him, right?
I think Trump looks out for the American people, black, white, or purple.
So you think when he says I hate all Democrats, he's going to look out for them, even though he's saying that?
Oh man, I think I think he looks out for the American people. If you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, no matter what, if you're an American, you're an American, and he wants this country to succeed.
Give me an example of something Trump has done that you believe shows he's looking out for all the American people since he's been reelected.
Well, shutting down the border is one, because shutting down the border, when we have 10 million people coming across the border, that floods the health system, floods the school system, floods everything that we don't have the resources for.
I don't know, because there are plenty of
and you're giving all the illegals all this free food, free housing, free this, free that, but we have veterans on the street every day, homeless all over the country, but we're giving all the damn the illegals, not just the immigrants. I'm pro-immigrant, man. Immigrants, if you want to come here the right way, we take 1 million immigrants a year legally.
How could you wait a minute, how could you say that when Trump got in there, he canceled all the asylum seekers that were here legally and got rid of most of the TPS folks, temporary protected status, that were also here legally as well, and he also raised the price of H-1B visas by $100,000. Those are all legal methods to come here. So he's made it clear he don't like it.
But you gotta realize, my guy, dude, that Biden put those HC1 visas and all that other stuff. He made them damn near free for the Haitians and all these other crazy people that the people that didn't even deserve to be here. He made them free for them.
So Trump went from making it free to making it impossible. How does that show he?
Right. Well, you gotta make the system hurt before you correct it, right?
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out where you come in with the stance that we're okay with immigrants coming. If his whole purpose is to make the system, correct, right now what he's doing is anti-immigrant 100%. He's not showing any pro-immigrant love.
Well, he's not, because
so why'd you say it then?
We've had a broken immigration system for 40 years, right?
Yeah.
I'm 43 years old.
Okay.
And even since Reagan tried to fix it. Nobody's ever tried to fix it. So for 40 years, we've had just a broken border. Every year, every new president, because we got a new flood of people coming in. Biden made it worse. We had 10 million people come in during Biden.
Yeah, I don't buy that. I mean, we only got 350 million people in the country. I don't buy that 10 million people came in 4 years. That means 2.5 million people on average were coming in every year under Biden. That number is inflated. I'm just going to tell you that number is inflated.
It sounds inflated.
It is.
But
it is
inflated. You saw the buses coming from California or come from Texas.
Do you know what 2.5 million people look like?
I know, and I've watched the videos from Texas ranchers and all them that have been flooded with cartel and all the crazy nonsense from down on the border. And in San Diego, you don't even see the videos from San Diego because they just rolled right into South California because California don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny a lot of immigrants came in this country under Biden, but your numbers are greatly inflated. I mean, they're saying that under Biden, it was only like 10 to 12 million people illegally here all together. I don't believe all of the illegal immigrants mostly came in under Biden in the last 4 years.
They've been saying there was only 10 million illegals here back when Obama got in.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I can see that we learned from 9/11 is that we brought another 6 million Muslims over here because Dearborn, Michigan's completely taken over. They're putting sirens out in St. Paul, Minneapolis. You got to sit down and pray at St. Paul, Minneapolis 3 times a day. They were the siren. Oh, go do.
You're telling me if I go to Minneapolis, I'm going to be forced to pray?
No, you will not be forced to pray, but you will hear the horns.
I mean,
3 times a day, and Dearborn, and Dearborn, Michigan, and then those guys are not. They are not scared to. You see them online. They are not scared to tell you, we are here. You're not making children. We're making children. In 20 to 50 years, this is going to be a Muslim country. And that's the only thing we learned is to bring more people over here.
I mean, you do realize while you're talking about they're here talking about in 20 years, this is going to be a Muslim country. You do realize our president, while in Israel, said that we're going to take over Gaza and make it the Riviera of the Middle East. So we don't told the Muslim country, you're going to be ours.
Well, do you realize that? And I understand that kids are suffering in Gaza, and it's sad as hell, and it sucks. But they killed 1,300 people, and they still have hostages.
Yeah, but let me just say this. My guess is most of the people that operated on October 7th are dead already. They've taken out the leader of Hamas, the next leader, the people that did that on October 7th, most of them folks are dead. The problem is because so many innocents have lost their lives, every time you blow up a building or a church or a hospital and kill a bunch of innocent people, you create new Hamas because they sympathize.
But they voted in Hamas. Gaza was not taken over. They voted in Hamas.
Okay.
And they keep attacking Israel, and Israel has given up property to the Arabs, to Palestine, for the last 50 years, over multiple wars. Last 10 wars since 1967. They've given up property and they keep coming at them. And Hamas has told them we're coming.
Yeah,
back.
but John,
If you don't,
John, the Palestinians are not the first country on earth to vote in a rogue leadership. And, you know, hang on. The Japanese voted in Hirohito. We didn't take Japan. The Germans voted in Hitler. We didn't take Germany. So why are we taking Gaza, taking ownership of it? There are plenty of countries that have voted in Hamas-like leaders, of rogue leaders, and we didn't take their shit. So why are we doing it to them?
Well, Trump's like to troll that shit, but you know that
Maybe the folks saying
last
that
5 years,
maybe the
the
folks
last
that hold
5
on,
years,
maybe the
that
folks that are
Palestinian-
maybe the folks that are claiming America's going to be a Muslim country, maybe they're just trolling too.
oh well, they're here, but you
Well,
know,
Trump
that's
was in
like-
Gaza. Trump was over there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what would you do, man, if that country was right next to our country, say Mexico? What's the closest to San Diego? What's that damn city? It starts with a T.
Tijuana.
They kept
Tijuana.
bombing San Diego.
Tijuana.
Huh? There you go. Tijuana. Year after year after year after year kept bombing us, and they will not stop. They won't stop. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna sit there and we're gonna say, "Hey, we'll just hit you a couple times,"
No,
and
no.
then you come over and you kill 1,500 people, but we'll just bomb you a couple times.
I think I think now what the description you're making, I would totally understand if we bombed the hell out of Tijuana. However, you're skipping over something that's factual, and that is before October 7th, it's not like the Israelis were letting the Palestinians live and let live. That country was being completely oppressed and controlled by Israel before that.
Well, but before that, Palestinians were allowed to work and travel to Israel, but Israelis were not allowed to go into Palestine.
There's a lot more to it than that, though, John. They don't have
but
a. Hold on.
But that's true. Will you agree
Yeah,
with
but that ain't nothing. The Israelis have passports; they can travel internationally. The Palestinians could not. They have to go get permission from Israel. If you wanted to leave Gaza and visit somebody in the West Bank, you had to get permission from Israel. They were oppressing the hell out of that
seems
country.
pretty crazy, dude, to see how many Palestinians are going to school in fucking America.
They have to get permission from Israel first.
Well, I mean, they must have gotten permission because there's a fuck ton of them here.
I'm just simply saying, if you got to get permission, you're not free. The Israelis have been basically keeping that country under wraps for years. So it's not like before October 7th, everything was honky-dory and fine. The Israelis, they even control how much they can fish in their waterways, everything. They control their utilities. Everything about Gaza was controlled by the Israelis.
I think, dude, that could be true. I don't know, but I think they traveled plenty. But I don't think 1,300 people dead, and then 400 fucking kidnappings, and then all the way down to where almost 2 years later, you still have 20 or 30 people. If you can justify that for that, I don't know, man.
I don't even know if they know where the people are,
get
man.
on your side.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't even know if the people in Gaza know where all them folks are. They don't kill so many people in Gaza, so many Palestinians and Hamas. The bodies of them people could be under rubble and shit. The reason they haven't given them back is they may not have them. They may not even know where the people are. They don't bomb that whole area.
But dude, I mean, and I have a hard time. I hate seeing the kids suffer, all that shit, dude. They're just kids. But the adults, I mean, I saw in Gaza and Iran and the people and fucking all them under some of those provinces over there. When 9/11 happened, I'm 43, man. I fucking went for the Marines right after 9/11. I watched all the videos of them burning American flags because they were celebrating 9/11. And I mean, if you want to fuck around, you find out. And war is hell.
I don't, to me, it's a case of we think our shit don't stink, in my opinion. You go over there and you fuck around in their affairs. You mess around in their elections. You try to put in. Hold on, hang on. We have a hit. We don't do that. You don't think America does that?
Oh, we do that absolutely.
Right. So when you have
Obama fucked around and
this goes way back before Obama. This goes way back.
Obama fucked in Russia's elections. We've been doing it for way too many years. I'm so
Right.
tired of the American being the world police.
Well, you don't think Trump is doing that right now in Venezuela?
Oh yeah,
Right.
Venezuela.
So all of a sudden, if you get a Venezuelan terrorist in this country and you're like, well, man, that was wrong what they did to us. Understand, a lot of this shit is stuff coming home to roots. You don't like them in Minnesota praying and spread capitalism and Christianity in their neck of the woods constantly?
Oh, dude. Wait, dude, you know Venezuela used to be the richest country in the world 25 years ago until Murdo got in fucking power. They were so rich, and then he got in power. He took over the oil fields. That's a whole nother story, my
Yeah.
guy.
Well, I'm just simply
But
saying.
no, I'm with you. I'm with you about fucking police in the world.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. But Venezuela, they are poisoning our country. They're sending over fentanyl, and I am tired of that crap. So I'm down for bombing the boat.
But what happened to Trump promising to get us out of world affairs? Does he look like he's doing that?
Well, he's trying, man. I mean,
Trying how? He's threatening Greenland. He's talking about making Canada the 51st state. He wants the Panama Canal back. He's in Venezuela blowing up shit. He done bombed Iran. How is he trying? Tell me what effort he's making.
well, he's not threatening Canada. I mean, for the state, they're trying. Those guys.
You know what I'm
want
saying,
to-
John.
But you know,
Tell me how he appears.
Iran shouldn't even have any money except for the Bidens, and then Ukraine and Russia. That shit's a whole nother story.
You told me he's trying to get out of world affairs. Tell me how that's happening. He's creating new ones. Like I said, he bombed Iran. When Israel and Iran was going back and forth, Trump jumped in it and started shooting down Iran missiles that were meant for Israel. He put us in that war. That's between them two. Why are we in it?
Why the fuck? Why would you let 300 missiles come into Israel, man? That's one of our biggest allies.
I'm going to ask you again. You said he is trying to get us out of wars. Show me how he's doing it. Now you're talking about, well, you got to help your allies. Then you're not getting out. You're getting in.
Well, he wasn't directly involved. He just did defense, but he's not starting new ones.
He bombed Iran. He bombed Iran.
All right, so then, how did the last administration keep us out of conflict?
That's why we voted in Trump, because the last administration didn't do it. We were told if we put Trump in, he was going to do it.
Well, you know, the fire's been set, my guy, and we got it, and people are pissed. So I mean, well, you get 1,300 people dead, and Israel's pissed. They're fucking tired of getting bullied.
Yeah, but what do we got to do with Israel? What do we have? Israel has way more than enough weapons and ordnance to deal with Iran and Hamas. Why are we in it?
Oh, they do.
Why are we in it?
Number 2 air force in the world.
Why are we in it?
That's a good question.
You told me he was trying. You told me he was trying to get out of world events. Why are we in it?
Wait, dude. I mean, he's the best salesman in the world. He'll get it done, and then fucking when they go to Russia and Ukraine, that dude. I mean, I don't know. Ukraine's the most corrupt country in the world. Russia's not any better. But I mean, what the fuck do you do with that? Because Ukraine was fucking with their water system, and Putin said, "I've had enough."
Ukraine was wait. You saying that
the Donbass system?
You said Ukraine was fucking with the water system of Russia?
Oh yeah.
Why? Why would they do that? Why would they do that?
They blew up that dam.
So they just decided to mess with Russia for no reason at all.
Oh yeah, because they've been in a civil war since 2014.
Okay, a civil war means you're at war with yourself. Why did they mess with Russia?
Because Russia was supplying the civil war in the Donbass region.
Okay, so Russia was interfering with them.
Well, but you know, Zelensky is not the guy.
That ain't what I'm asking you. You said that they were at a civil. Why would they mess with Russia's water supply?
What's more important than water?
I get that, but why would they just all of a sudden start messing with Russia's water supply for no reason? Why did they do that?
That's a calculated fucking symptom that I can't talk about. I don't know.
Are you sure it happened?
You gotta ask Zelensky about that, dude. he's the one that called. He's the one that made that call, bro.
Are you sure the stuff you're saying actually happened though?
Yeah, they fucking blew up that dam right before. They blew up that dam before fucking Zelensky or whatever it calls his name, Putin. Which I think, dude. And you know what? It's bad to say because I'm a big Trump guy. But during the Biden administration and all the shit on the news and I believed more shit Putin was saying than I did Obama or did Biden, which is terrible to say. But
Yeah, that's very.
I believe, you know.
Why have you not seen all the things that Putin has lied about, up to and including lying to Trump? Even Trump is now accusing him of being a liar.
Oh yeah, you know, but he's a man of his country. So what am I gonna?
He's not a man of his word. You're talking about you believe him.
I believed him when during Biden, because Biden, I can't believe a fucking word he said.
Do you believe Trump is honest?
I do believe Trump has the country's best interest in his.
That ain't what I asked you. I asked you, do you believe he's an honest man?
I do.
Okay. So you don't. So you,
not?
huh?
Do you not?
Hell no. I can give you. I mean, he's saying right now Portland is burning to the ground. You believe that?
No, Portland's not burning the ground, but they have some serious issues.
That ain't what he didn't say. He didn't say serious issues. He said they're burning
Why
to the.
have we gotten so fucking comfortable with such violent and dirty crime in American cities? I mean, not but 2 generations ago, people didn't even lock their fucking door.
We can tackle that, but that just because we've gotten accustomed to crime in it and we're letting crime out, that don't mean it's okay for the president to lie though, does it?
Well, I would never go to Portland.
Okay.
I tell people, I know people that go to Portland for vacation. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind?
Okay.
Hey, go to a beach.
Here's what the guy said.
To the people. So we want to have it fixed so it works. We're going to look at that. It was amazing. Portland is burning to the ground. It's insurrectionists all over the place.
I just said that the other day. Why the hell? Now, let me ask you honestly, is that a lie? Because you said he's an honest man. Do you believe what he just said there is a lie?
It's an exaggeration.
What's the difference between an exaggeration and a lie?
I don't know. How big's your dick?
Well, let me just say it this way. If I know what the size is and I tell you it's not that size, that's a lie.
I don't want to know, dude. I don't want to know. But
All right, John, you drive a hard bargain. Appreciate you coming through. Spirited debate. Come on back anytime. It's our first time talking.
yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Good talk. Come on back anytime, man.
Have a good night, man.
You too. All right, moving on with the program, by the way. We always appreciate getting Mac on the program as well, so understand that. We don't block, ban, or censor. That's so not funny, says Alicia Bling. It caught me off guard. It was but I don't buy into the notion that there's a difference between exaggerating and a lie. To me, if you exaggerate and you know the exaggeration you're giving is not accurate, then you're lying. It's as simple as that. If you say my inauguration crowd is larger than the March on Washington during Martin Luther King's time, if you know that's not true, it's a lie. To me, really, an exaggeration and a lie are synonyms. They really are the same thing. You're telling what you're telling is a falsehood to make yourself look better. Like when Trump got arrested in Georgia, I believe it was, down there, and he had a mugshot. Everybody remember Trump mugshot? Well, he had to give his specifications or measurements is what I'm looking for. His weight, his height, all of that was down on his, down with his mugshot. The numbers he gave, everybody knew that was a lie. Everybody knew that was a lie. And we all know around about what we weigh. A lot of us may lie, about our weight. But when you lie and you know it's a lie, then it's a lie. It's not exaggerating, it's a lie. So anyway, let me go into the comments here. Tim, we wanted to come out of What did you say? We wanted to come out on your shown. What are you saying there, Battlestar? Looking in the comments real quick. I don't get what you're trying to say there, but we'll bring you up. Tap the screen, by the way, folks. Get us on up to 110, if you will. Mike Rabam. Anyone get raptured yet? Will G. I don't know why they keep saying the rapture is coming. To me, that just is really just you could possibly create atheists by doing that shit. There are already people who are religious, but on the fence. When you start telling them shit like that, Jesus coming back in the rapture, and you keep being wrong over and over again. If you're somebody that people actually trust, like maybe they're a pastor or something, and you're saying stuff like that, and it keeps not happening, you could literally cause somebody to start straying away from religion. I don't know why they keep telling what the damn rapture is going to happen. By the way, thank you folks that are helping your boy get that TikTok cap goal. Help me reach that goal. It's a very simple thing to do. The rapture is extra biblical anyway. All right. Good for you. You left the Republican Party. Cops already have qualified immunity. He wants to give them absolute immunity, says Katrina. Yeah, we've ran lives. Thank you, King Finn. Appreciate that. We have done lives about that with President Trump offering to give police immunity. To me, that was the reason why. For me personally, that was a deal breaker. Why wouldn't you consider voting for Trump? The minute he started flirting with giving police immunity, that was a deal breaker for me. And he is on video saying he wanted to give police immunity from prosecution. Camaro, is that? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, it's Camaro.
Miss Mobetta and Battlestar. Appreciate that. Sweet for now. So what am I getting wrong, Camaro?
Wrong about what?
Well,
Pretty all right.
Did you hear my last guest?
Yeah, I did.
Did you agree with him?
For the most part, yeah.
Then I'm getting something fucking wrong if you agree with him, because I don't agree with any of that. So obviously you heard me say something wrong.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really remember everything he said.
Okay. What brought you on? What did you hear that made you want to come on? Obviously there's something here, because we're talking about President Trump sending the military into a host of cities now, Los Angeles, D.C., Portland, Chicago, and the possibility that he is literally trying to provoke some sort of incident to declare martial law. Why is this happening?
I think my big thing to point to is martial law. Don't worry about that. The National Guard going to various large cities in the United States is
unnecessary.
They're being put there to defend ICE agents. So whenever you have an ICE agent, an ICE sting, and you're going to send out 10 ICE agents that have the authority to arrest people because they have badges, they're sworn off.
Then why is he suggesting they're there to lower crime? What he's talking about doing in Chicago, he's talking about lowering crime. He's not talking about defending ICE. In D.C., they're not there to defend ICE either. And in L.A., they weren't there to defend ICE. They were there to stop rioting. They were talking about securing a building. Most of these places they're sending the National Guard, ICE ain't got nothing to do with it.
In what city they were?
In Washington, D.C., he's saying the purpose of the National Guard is to lower crime. It has nothing to do with defending ICE. He's also talking about sending them to Chicago to lower crime. Nothing to do with defending ICE.
As far as lowering crime, all the National Guard can really do is supplement the police. The police can't interact with the civilian population. As it was, the National Guard cannot interact with the civilian population like the police can.
Does he not know that? Because he's saying that they're going to lower crime.
I would assume somebody's advising him and saying, hey, you send in the National Guard, supplement the police. And I don't know, they send in 200 National Guardsmen to fill out police reports or, transcribe police reports or some shit.
You almost sound like you're on the side of me, where I see this as an utter waste of money.
Yeah. Just so you know, I tried getting on with you on Instagram. I've talked to you once before. My Instagram shit all messed up, so I had to hop on here on TikTok.
I appreciate you. If I see you on Instagram, I'll bring you, but I appreciate you coming over here. So, do you favor the National Guard being sent to these places?
I
Now you just said you just said you believe it's a waste of money before you answer
My
the question.
bottom line is, I don't think the National Guard is necessary. Last time I talked to you, I told you, in Chicago, I think Chicago Police Department can handle all of the crime in Chicago. The problem is, the chief of police in Chicago, are they handing out the directive to their police to deal with the crime appropriately? And then once they do arrest somebody that has actually committed a crime, does the DA actually follow through with that crime? And
Well, he can't do anything about that. Even if he sends the National Guard into Chicago and they catch somebody stealing a car or something like that, it's still a state crime. So
No,
all they can
you
do,
can't.
they still got to hand the person back over to the state authorities.
you know what you can do though is send ICE in there and then have people freak the fuck out because ICE is in Chicago, and then people riot against ICE. And once you're assaulting a federal officer, that's no longer a city crime. That's no longer a state crime. Now you've assaulted a federal officer.
Yeah,
That's-
but yeah, I agree with that. But you're pretty much making it clear that there's some kind of nefarious intention by doing it. And chances are, when you send ICE in there and it riles people up and they're assaulting ICE agents, a lot of the people that are doing that, some of these liberal blue-haired women and shit like that, these are people that are law-abiding citizens until you came there. They'll make the people you want to arrest. You're actually rallying up law-abiding people, and now they're somehow in jail for rioting or assaulting an officer. These are people that would not have committed a crime at all if you didn't rile them up.
I don't understand why enforcing the law riles people up to the point they go commit crimes.
Did you see what happened in Chicago at that complex where they used a Black Hawk helicopter to repel agents on top of the building?
Yeah, you're talking about that apartment complex
Yeah.
that one of your previous callers was all over the fucking place on. Yeah, I saw the neighborhood like on the street video. I don't know what you're talking about with like arresting black babies and putting handcuffs on them or anything of that. But yeah, I did see the on the street video, and you can hear the helicopter. Couldn't see it.
Well, is it night? But see, that's the point I'm making is that
Yeah, it's
when
Black Hawk.
when you're doing stuff like that, you're riling up people that in possibly making folks or better yet, provoking or incentivizing folks to commit crimes against federal agents that would have normally been sleeping in their bed. I mean, you're provoking people by treating them like that.
I do agree it is heavy-handed to use a helicopter to insert
Yeah,
your SWAT team.
yeah.
I mean, it's heavy-handed, but at the same time, as I understand, that building was expected to have 11 apartment buildings with unknown number of turned down.
Yeah, but I get that, but like I told my caller, it's a high-rise building that you can easily surround and demand that people come out. If they don't come out, you can tear gas their apartment. You don't need to rappel onto the fucking roof. They're not going to jump off, so you don't need anybody on the roof.
All right, hold on. So you're saying it's okay to tear gas innocent people as opposed to kicking in innocent people's doors?
No, because I'm saying you're going to first get on a bullhorn or whatever and give them a chance to come out. Hold on, hang on. You're going to get on a bullhorn with the building surrounded and tell them to come out of their apartments. You're only tear gassing when they don't come out. What they did is they're going to bust in your apartment even if you were going to comply. They're not going to give you a chance to comply. They're just going to bust in your apartment while you're asleep and find out whether you're a criminal or not.
Yeah, I think you got a legitimate point there. Like, that's probably a good point of tactics.
Do you?
I'll say the tear gas does linger and it does get into your.
But the law, most of those citizens that got detained were law-abiding citizens. All of them are going to come out. All of the law-abiding citizens would. If you're tear gassing somebody, that's probably the person you want, because the law-abiding citizens are not going to let you do that. You wouldn't have to do it to anybody.
No, I think I'm on board with you on a different approach to tactics there. Tear gassing, I mean, it doesn't like necessarily flow through 10 layers. I would really hope that raid that they did was they considered these possibilities and decided that this is actually the correct way to conduct this.
Have you? I mean, listen. Out of all the years of watching cops America's Most Wanted and all the crimes. Have you ever seen a Black Hawk helicopter propel on the roof of a drug dealer's home? Have you ever seen it happen anywhere else in America? That sounds like Darkwing Zero, how we got Bin Laden.
Oh no, it's probably not happening.
Right.
That is pretty.
There ain't no defense for that shit. There's no defense for that whatsoever. It's never happened before.
Hey, we got federal toys. We got federal money. Let's fucking fast rope. Let's do it.
And you do understand that that type of action can lead to people hating police, right?
Getting kicked out of where I sleep, my own home that's peaceful, and the cops kick my door in and fucking hold me at gunpoint. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So why are there so many folks? Now you're a MAGA, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
voted for Trump. I'm generally MAGA. I'm otherwise libertarian.
Fair enough. So why do you think there's so many MAGA that support that heavy-handed raid that even you were admitting could lead to people hating police when they often say you should just comply to police? 99% of police are good and want to go home to their families. Why are they supporting something that clearly can create hatred towards badges?
I'll point it towards this direction with Tom Holman when he says, we're going after the bad guys first. And if you happen to be hanging out with the bad guys, we're going to arrest you too. It's kind of on those lines where it's like, don't be hanging out with felons.
But
So, yeah, maybe you're in this country illegally. You're not on our radar per se. But if you're hanging out next to a felon, illegal immigrant, and you just happen to be illegal too, yeah, we'll sweep you up as well. And
I've heard him say that.
I understand that's different than, hey, I'm a legit born and raised in America citizen. I live in this apartment building. But at the same time, it's like, why do you have illegals living in your apartment?
Yeah, but how the hell can you, if you live in, they're talking a building that's like almost 10 stories tall with multiple apartments on each floor.
Yeah.
How the hell can you as a citizen control who moved in your building?
You can't. But with that, and it's not necessarily like defending anything, but it is also the day after. Oh my God, they got all the Trinidad Aragua gang members out of my apartment that were terrorizing me. The next day, you're like, you know what? That fucking sucked, but my life's so much fucking better now. Those fucking criminal
I don't
gangsters are outta
think
here.
anybody that lived in that building is looking and saying, damn, my life is so much better after that happened. I don't think Trinidad Agua was in that building terrorizing anybody. You haven't heard any stories like that being released by MAGA that they were being terrorized by Fox News or anybody. They weren't in that building. In fact, I don't even know if Trinidad Agua was in that building at all. But they certainly were not.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I don't know either, but I will point to Aurora, Colorado. There was
That's a different story. That's a different story. Yeah, that's a different story. Yeah, that's on video. That's a different story. But what they did in Chicago, and by the way, when they went to get those people in Colorado who were on video with long guns, they knew they had long.
Yeah.
They didn't even use a Black Hawk in that.
No.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, CQB tactics, high ground is a thing. Grenades fall down. They don't fall up.
Grenades on U.S. soil? Grenades? What part of law enforcement is using grenades now?
whatever. In any way, it is better to have the high ground. It's much easier to clear a building from the top down than it is from the bottom up.
I don't know if I agree with you on that because if there is some type of resistance in the building, your ass is stuck on the roof. It's easier to clear the building from the top down if everybody agrees with you. But if all of a sudden somebody below you decides to come up, you ain't got nowhere to go. You're stuck on the roof. I mean, I don't know if that's a great place to be.
It's, switch that thing from single shot to full auto.
Does the fact that this is happening to American citizens concern you at all? I mean, we're not in Fallujah. We're in Chicago.
Yes, I 100% do not want American citizens to fall in the crossfire of any of this bullshit.
Do you still support Trump?
Yes.
Do you think this is going to happen anymore?
I think it's going to get worse, per se.
Why do you think it's going to get worse?
I think in Portland, that's actually something from one of your previous calls when someone said in Portland, you were saying the whole city's on fire. That's an exaggeration. And
Is it?
I understand where you're coming from because the whole city of Portland is not on fire.
Why would he say that?
The city block of the federal building is on fire.
The man didn't say the city's on fire. He said it's burning to the ground. Why would he say that?
That's an exaggeration. And, tell me how big your dick is, right?
But why would the president, considering something like that, which could literally be costing lives and millions of dollars in property, why would he go on television and lie like that? How does any American
I
benefit?
think it's a lie. I think it is a focused.
Burning
Since
to the
entire
ground.
City of Portland.
You don't think that's a lie? Burning to the ground, you don't think it's a lie?
The entire city of Portland, not true. The block around the federal buildings that he's concerned about, true.
So you think the blocks around the federal buildings that he's concerned about in Portland are burning to the ground?
Not burning to the ground, but they're under constant.
He used the phrase
riot.
burning to the ground. That came out of his mouth. That is the phrase he used. Now, he said the whole city. He said the whole city, but I'm narrowing it down with you and just simply saying, as opposed to the whole city, which is what he said, I'm going to take your word that it's only a few buildings. You're admitting that even a few buildings are not burning to the ground.
Well, you're not burning this federal buildings to the ground. They're made out of concrete. They have blast.
So
barriers.
why is he using the phrase burning to the ground?
Because they're throwing like fucking fireworks, pyrotechnics at federal officers. They're no shit like Molotov cocktails.
Any idea why you won't just say that?
Oh, I just spent 3 sentences saying.
No, I
that,
mean,
so
why won't he
just?
does he have a problem with the truth? If people are throwing fireworks at the law, that's a felony, that's an obvious crime. Why can't he just tell the damn truth and say that? Why you gotta say the city is burning to the ground?
Yeah, I don't think there's any way you can say Portland's burning to the ground. And maybe he doesn't have the words to church it up, but
He's 80 years old. How long does he need to go to school? He's 80. He can't come up with a simple way of saying what you just said.
No, he's done going to school, I'm sure of
Right.
that. But it's like throwing explosive devices at federal officers is what he needs to say.
Okay. So in other words, what he said is a lie.
Sure, why not?
Why is it so hard for you to say that? I'm curious.
I just say it's an exaggeration because I look at.
What's the difference between an exaggeration and a lie? I mean, obviously you're admitting it's not happening. You're admitting what he's saying is not true.
Your previous caller. What's the difference between exaggeration and a lie? How big's your dick? It's like that's fucking big enough. That's all you need to know.
Okay, well, throwing.
That's it.
Yeah, but throwing pyrotechnics, throwing firecrackers and shit at or a jumping jack at an officer, compared to saying the city is burning to the ground, that's like asking how big is your dick and a horse shows up. I mean, that's like in a whole different galaxy. That's not. Them two things are not even remotely close.
No, I'm fully on board with you. I'll say all of Portland is not burning down. I will say all of Portland has a huge fucking homeless problem, but the homeless in Portland are just the vagrants. They're not a problem per se, other than homelessness that needs to be taken care of.
So in other words, going back to what we originally talked about in the beginning, you do agree the National Guard should not be going to Portland.
National Guard to Portland, I think, is
An exaggeration.
It's 50-50. The reason is I don't think they have enough ICE agents to handle the riots that happen in front of the federal buildings. The National Guard can supplement those ICE agents, allow that federal building, which the National Guard has, federalized agents have the authority to protect the federal building and federal agents.
I'm going to say, Camara, and I do got to move it on, but I'll just say this. Once you get on television and you say something as wild as what he said, while saying you need to send the National Guard to Portland because it's burning to the ground. Once you say that as a reason for why you're sending them, you've lost all credibility. Everybody knows, even his supporters like you in the last call, everybody knows what he just said is a lie. Exaggeration, dick size, everybody know you're saying something that's not true.
I think the big problem with Portland isn't so much the actual violence and through city of Portland. Portland is the mecca for the unaffiliated Antifa.
Right.
Like if you want to go find Antifa, Portland is where it's at. Rose City Antifa.
Yeah. Then, and that's the problem is he wants Antifa. So to get to Antifa, I'm just gonna make up a lie and say they're burning the city to the ground when everybody knows that's a lie.
They're fighting federal agents
Right.
as if they were Nazis, and that's just not the case.
Yeah, and it goes back to what I said. What he is saying is a lie, though. He wants to get there to get hold of Antifa. So to give an excuse to why he's deploying the National Guard, he's making up a lie, which is something very serious, where people could understand why the National Guard is being deployed. They're burning the city to the ground. Everybody could understand it. So to get that permission, he's going to make up a wild ass lie so that people will be sympathizing with him.
Do you think anybody in MAGA actually believes Portland's burning to the ground?
Man, I got people that believe folks eats dogs and cats. They told me the fucking rapture was gonna happen last week. Yeah, they believe that wild shit. Have you heard of? I'm gonna give you a phrase.
Damn it.
Have you ever heard of a Q drop?
Yes.
Yeah, they believe some wild shit, man. Yeah, they believe some wild, crazy shit. Yeah, he probably got people walking around telling you right now Charlie Kirk is walking down the street. They tell you some crazy shit, man. I've been talking to MAGA for years.
He is risen. I knew that would get you.
I gotta go, Camaro. You're always welcome back anytime, man. Thanks for coming through.
Thanks, man. Love you much.
Appreciate it. Got a few MAGA coming through. I love it. Anyway, tap in the screen. Get your boy likes on up to 110,000. We can certainly make it happen. Because Republicans have to talk about doom and gloom. There is a lot of that coming from the Trump administration. I don't know if George W. Bush was doom and gloom. Trump is a very hardcore doom and gloom guy. When he came on the scene, obviously the elections were rigged, military was dilapidated. I mean, he painted America when he was running for president in 2015 to sound like Mad Max. Then 6 months after he was in the presidency, the country was doing fabulous. We were great. In fact, we went from Make America Great Again to, it's kind of raggedy now, this is a 2020, Keep America Great Again. So America was great under him. Then once he ran again in 2024, the country was dilapidated again. So he does paint a picture that without him, shit just falls apart. Anyway, looking in the comments, Trump is all talk. I thought he was going to invade Venezuela, Greenland, Afghanistan air base. Well, he's only been in office, Charlie, he's only been in office for 9 months or so. Some of that may actually happen. Don't count it out. I can absolutely see something happening in Venezuela. He wants the Afghanistan air base. That's a pretty easy one to accomplish, I think he would see. So we may get Bagram Air Force Base back in Afghanistan. I hope we don't fuck with Greenland. But even, I got a guest that regularly calls in that lives in Greenland, and he says that they're concerned about it. So don't count all of that stuff out yet. He still has about 80% of his term left. No, not real. Yeah, about it. Well, let me see. 70. Yeah, a year would be 25%. So yeah, he has about 80% or more of his term left. So there's still plenty of time. Trump moves fast. Trump has accomplished a lot. You may not like what he's doing, but he's accomplished a lot in a short time. Anyway, looking in the comments, you should absolutely be ashamed of yourself. This is why black people are not respected worldwide. We suck white balls for self-esteem, says Sarge. What the? Sarge, wow. I want you to elaborate on what makes you type that. You're telling me I should be ashamed of myself. This is why black people are not respected worldwide. You really think me talking to MAGA on the internet is causing black people to be disrespected worldwide? Okay, let me know. Let me know. I don't block, ban, or censor. Let me know. I'll read your next comment too. Trump all talk. I saw that already. Bootlicker deluxe version, says DJ Ray. I think some of you folks are new to the show. That's what I think it is. But let me know. We'll continue on. Yeez. Donnie, what is that name? Donnie Scrafe or something like that. It would be a war for the base in Afghanistan because they don't want them. Yeah, but Trump don't care. You're using other people's kids. I mean, the Afghans would fight to maintain Bagram, but they would lose. We all know that. I don't think Trump minds. I mean, if he's willing to send Black Hawk helicopters on American citizens, yeah, we could take Bagram Air Force Base back pretty quickly, in my opinion. Donnie, we'll see if it brings him up. Greenland was just another distraction from the Epstein files. I don't feel confident about that. I do believe that the distraction stuff, but I'm going to tell you what I always say. I don't think MAGA cares about that Epstein shit. I got people in my comments on my videos telling me you're beating a dead horse, you're losing viewers because you keep talking about the Epstein shit. MAGA don't care about that Epstein stuff. They really don't. Because if MAGA really cared about the Epstein files or whatever you want to call them, when Trump said stop talking about the Epstein list, they would have been far more pissed off than they were. When Congress unanimously voted to not release the Epstein files a week or so ago, they would have been awfully pissed off about it. When Trump said he doesn't know if he's going to pardon her or not, he hasn't checked in, they would have been pissed off. He's talking about pardoning a serial pedophile in Ghislaine Maxwell. The right didn't say shit. And again, today, he also said once again, he might pardon her, or I haven't thought about it or something like that. So he said it twice now. They didn't say shit on that. And then, of course, he took her out of maximum security and put her in a minimum security camp without even explaining why he did it. MAGA didn't say anything. He's helping her. He is clearly helping Ghislaine Maxwell. There's no denying that. He's doing things to her benefit. She's a convicted pedophile many times over, and he's helping her out. MAGA's not saying shit. I don't think MAGA cares about the Epstein files. I'm going to tell you that. I believe that MAGA sees Trump as taking this country in the right direction, securing the border, whatever they think he's doing for the economy or ending wars, whatever they think he's doing that is far better than the liberals, getting men out of women's sports, you name it. They think he's doing what's right by this country, and they're willing to accept that maybe he did something with Epstein, because I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. 90% of the guy is good in their eyes, so I'm not going to throw him out for 10%. I don't care what comes out of the Epstein files. Unless you literally got video of Trump tagging some young kid from the back, they're not going to believe it. They're just not going to believe it. They're not going to hold him accountable for it. Middle of Fifth Avenue is in full effect. Anyway, looking in the comments, somebody, Matt Loves Chomos says, what is that? Says Mies Wilkes or something? Wow. Oh my God. Women need to be protected from Trump. Not anymore. Trump's like almost 80 years old. He's not, his days of that shit is over with. He's had his fun. His days of that are over with. What about activating Black Lives Matter for the support of the people of this country? If Black Lives Matter during the next 3 years has any sort of uprising whatsoever, they're going to be viewed as a terrorist outfit. Trump is one excuse away from making BLM a terrorist outfit, just like Antifa. He's already previously referred to them as a terrorist outfit. They're going after Antifa primarily based on activities from 5 years ago during the George Floyd riots. If there is any major outburst from Black Lives Matter during Trump's term, they're going to be deemed as a terrorist outfit. I feel fairly confident about that. It won't take much for Trump to tag them. Wow, Katrina, how on earth do you get through the day knowing Trump wants you done for? What makes you say he wants her done for? I'll go back to the box. What did that say in the comments? What happened to Donnie? I don't know. I tried to bring him up and he didn't come up. Sometimes the TikTok, the box freezes. I click, when I call a name out, I'm actually clicking on that person, King Finn. When I call a name out, that person's coming up. If you don't hear from them, something happened in the box. King, good evening.
Oh, yes.
The fuck was that? I like it. I like it.
It was the trumpets of a king walking into the door. Yes, the king has entered the building to slay you shameless MAGA liars. So as I sat here listening to the nonsensical bullshit that has been spewed on this program for the whole day, I thought to myself, I shall slay the MAGA bitch tonight. So
I don't even know what to do with that. That's good shit, but I don't even know what to do with it. I'm gonna foul it under good shit. Go ahead.
Big Boss, really quick, come on up to the front of the congregation. Nick Shirley was not the person that was assaulted. It was actually Nick Sortor, and he was assaulted when he was arrested. And that was not Antifa, that was the police. Ding dong. Next, as for the listening procedures of this whole program, I would like to call a hot bag of bullshit, because every MAGA person you had up here has literally explained and showed why we know they are MAGA and this country will not be pulled back together. There's no way to pull back together the divisiveness that they have unleashed on this world. The last couple callers you have literally showed you that. That one dude didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. I mean, not what, he was all over the place. You know, DMX would say, "You all over the place, dog." He was all over the place, dog. He didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Jeremy, another instance of not knowing what the fuck he was talking about. If it's bad enough that I am asking for MAGA Reacts or motherfucking Gen X to help him, it is bad. You know I don't like MAGA Reacts ass at all, and I really don't like Gen X. But I would rather hear them come help that clown who decided that he wanted to step up. What was his name? John O? Whatever the fuck his name is? I don't know. It doesn't matter what his name was. Because he didn't make no...
He just had a difference of opinion from you.
No, it's not a difference of opinion, Tim. They don't even deal in factual reality. Everything he said, oh, yeah, I care about the kids, but fuck around and find out. What?
Yeah. I will say one of the things I do find troubling is they have a hard time admitting when Trump lies about something, even when it's clear that he lied. I mean, this exaggeration is, you know, when they say you're taking them out of context, or, you know, you're finding ways to finagle things to, you know, to lessen what he's lying. That's it. It's a lie. I mean, well, but it's an exaggeration. That sounds a little bit lighter than calling it a lie. They're trying to twist the words around. If Biden said some bullshit like that, they would call it a lie. They wouldn't call it an exaggeration. So that I do have a problem with.
It's bad because their little mega brands can't undo the brainwashing and undrink the Kool-Aid. If Biden had told a lie, we can say, yeah, that motherfucker lied.
Yeah.
When Bill Clinton got his head and got caught lying and said, I had sexual relations with that woman, we said, man, you know you got some hair from that, bro. You lied. We got the evidence. Linda Tripp kept the dress. Okay, come on, man. You know you lied. And we persecuted his ass, did we not? Yeah. But they can't do that for the orange shit tater because they drunk so much of the Kool-Aid, it doesn't make sense to them.
Well, but I understand some of it. Certainly, if I was talking to a member of Congress or a member of the Senate, they know if they get caught on tape saying that Trump is lying, if Trump hears that, there could be hell to pay. And I think that trickles down to MAGA, even though MAGA is not concerned with anybody hearing it. But, I mean, if the mindset is you're not supposed to criticize this guy. And I think that's where this is coming from, is that somehow, some way, President Trump has enough control that his supporters and followers know that it's not cool to criticize him.
What's funny is that they believe that gives them some type of edge because they stand on it like it's moral high ground, when there's literally no moral high ground for the shit he's doing. Like I said the other day, I'm gonna continue to say it, and I'm gonna have a live about it when I go up. These fucking people are antinomian. They don't even understand the Bible. That dude is not a Christian. He's nowhere near a Christian. He's not even a nationalist. He's nowhere near a nationalist. He's literally a capitalist piece of shit.
You talking about Pope? You talking about Pope Trump?
Come on, dog. You know that's blasphemous to have that picture up there. I know you atheist, but that is wrong.
I'm not atheist. I'm questioning. I'm questioning my religion.
You know what? I can accept that. Okay, I can accept that you question stuff. I believe in Christian values. I believe in spiritual values. But I'm not going to tell you everything that they wrote in this book is true because we don't know. Some dude named King James spouted this shit out. So how the hell do we know what it says? But I do know that the Bible says you're supposed to love one another. Yeah. There are a lot of things that point to the fact in the Quran, the Torah, the Bible, and all of the religious books that say you should love one another. I mean, the major part of that book or any of those books come in as love. What is Trump not doing right now?
He's not a very loving guy. I mean, listen, the guy is on video saying, I'm not one of you to the Christians. He's on video saying he's never asked God for forgiveness. I don't know why they think he's a Christian, but before we continue, Handsome Stubby Finger says, Tim, tell King Finn, tell King Shark, nice intro, just like the good old days like Ric Flair. Do more, please. Keep preaching to the crown. So there you go. You got some love being shown there for you. Thank you, Handsome Stubby Fingers.
I have to say, even in Miss Mobetta's live earlier, I've noticed that I've got roaches now. I got little roaches who follow me around who want to say crazy shit to me just to get my attention. I was cracking the fuck up earlier. I was dying. Like, for real? I really got that important? I'm actually spreading that much of a message to you little fucking bugs that you want to follow me and you want to make sure you say something behind me so I see your name? Yay. Fuck you. That's what I tell them. Keep hating on me. Keep following me into lives and shit, thinking that it's gonna help you out to say something outlandish. Like one little fucking roach was like, "Oh yeah, I think King Sin likes Mexican boys." Right. Okay, so you're deflecting exactly what you do to yourself, right?
Damn.
Just like the other night. The other night when old boy was like, "Oh yeah, my dick size is this. My dick's." Bro, nobody asked you about that.
Jesus.
It's like MAGA Reacts the other day. Oh yeah, I look at guys in the bathroom. I see it all the time. Why are you looking?
I don't know why he said that. I don't have an answer for that. Why he said, I don't have an answer for that.
I don't know either. It made no sense to me. Why are you looking in the bathroom, bro? You're more dangerous than the transmitter to relegates.
Yeah, I don't have any answer for that. I do, and I see in the comments somebody says 400 times the Bible says to help immigrants. That came from Nana Gant. 400 times the Bible says to help immigrants. Is that true?
No matter how you take it, okay? This is what I'm saying. I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you that I can look through the Bible and I know every single verse and it says to say that, it says to do that. But what I am telling you is if Jesus was at the border, they would turn his ass away, okay? They would not let Jesus enter because MAGA man, the Mango Mussolini told them not to because he would be considered an immigrant and he damn sure would be coming in with $5 million, would he?
Yeah, I don't doubt based on what we know about Jesus, what we know about Jesus and what we know about Trump. No, he wouldn't be let in. He wouldn't, based on what we know, what he was living like and all of that, and what Trump is demanding from folks. Yeah, he would not be let in the country.
Also, I would implore you to look in your DMs and make sure that you read that article about Trinity Flood when we're talking about those the South Shore apartments or South Seaside apartments, because that article actually explains a lot more what actually happened with that raid the other night. Even though Jeremy says that it was a little boy and a cop who were running around playing chase, I've never in my life took my son out at 3 o'clock in the morning to play chase in the dark.
That's a great point. That is a great point.
I know. Secondly, Trinity Flood is the one who actually owns that apartment building, and she was about to get hit with a suit for $27 million.
Yeah, I remember. I do remember.
That's the reason. That's the reason that apartment building got hit at 3 o'clock in the morning, because she said to do that. And again, in order to hit an apartment complex like that, you really, literally kind of have to have, I don't know, a warrant. Also, before those people were even almost let out of jail, I think only maybe 5 to 10 is from what the report is. 5 to 10 of those families that got arrested the other night got out of jail. They were moving trucks, and if you look at some of the videos, the budget trucks are already there. They already had moving trucks and people moving shit out of that apartment because that apartment building is being turned over to the city receiver. That's why that apartment building, because that apartment building is trash.
So was the city? Do you think the city of Chicago may have been in on it?
I don't know if I want to say the city of Chicago, but I do know for a fact that Trinity Flood owns that building, and she also owns a couple of other buildings, and there have been plenty of violations.
Does she have any connections to the Trump administration in any way?
I'm not going to sit here and lie to you about that, Tim. I don't know. But what I do know is before you turn something over to the city receiver, you have to make sure that it's empty. And before you get hit with a $27 million suit, probably be really easy to say, oh, ICE is in my building, and then break everything, and then move it all out.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't. Yeah, I can't speculate on that or not at all. But I know that what happened is going to lead ICE and the federal government to face all kinds of lawsuits. I mean, that ain't whatever they were trying to do. That wasn't the way to do it. I mean, what they did that night in Chicago was wrong. They're going to face all sorts of lawsuits because they clearly detained and roughed up people that did not deserve it. I mean, you're taking people out of bed and shit like that. I'm sure you probably saw a few dicks and pussies because people probably weren't dressed. I mean, you wanted people were innocent citizens. Go ahead.
Definitely small kids out there without clothes.
Yeah, you seen people nude and shit. I mean, yeah, there's definitely gonna be some lawsuits on that stuff. I mean, one of the things I'm thinking, once Trump is gone, Certainly if you get a liberal, just to make people whole. I don't know if our government can pay out all the money it's going to owe to all the people that's been wrong. All of the people that Elon performance, they never had a performance review. I mean, contracts that got broken in other countries like USAID and stuff. I mean, there are so many people that have been wronged. They can't all sue. They would bankrupt us. I mean, they're doing people wrong every day.
You also have to remember the fact that by the time Trump gets out, we probably won't have enough money to keep this country afloat because he's taxing the American public with tariffs and all other sorts of shit that is running up the national debt. Literally, just running it up, just far beyond anything we can think of. I told you, 15 million a golf trip. Are you fucking serious?
No.
Did you hear the scandal about his National Archives, about his library, where all of those people that he sued is basically giving money to it? Like, wow.
Well, I know he got hundreds of millions of dollars of free pro bono work from the law firm that defended Hillary Clinton. I mean, he's suing. The people are settling cases that they would normally win because they know they have no chance of winning while he's in control of the federal government. I mean, I don't think like the CBS 60 Minutes case that he claimed that they edited a Kamala Harris video or something. That's what they normally do. But it's easier to just simply give him a few million to get him, to make him happy and let him go and brag that he beat us, as opposed to fighting him and letting him send the FCC and all kinds of government entities after you. Now he's doing audits and he's just trying to destroy your whole network. So these people are paying him for cases that they would win because it's like a mob boss. If the guy walks in your pizza shop and says, it would be a shame if something were to happen to your restaurant, I want 10% off top for your profits. You can either fight the 10% and hope your whole place don't burn down, or just give them the 10% so they'll go away. That's what they're doing with him.
My thing is, where is it going to stop at? You know what I mean? Like, this is exactly why, if you really think about it, this is why the Americas was quote unquote founded. Because back in the day, before we came over to the Americas, that's what we left Britain for. Remember? Was that not
taxation? Yeah, taxation.
Tax without.
Well, there's two ways to stop for liberals. There's only two forms of hope for liberals to stop Trump. One being the midterms. If they can defeat Trump handily in the midterms, they're going to impeach him again and try to prevent him from even finishing his term. So one is the midterms. The other one is Father Time. Those are the only two ways to stop Trump. Either you get him in the midterms or Father Time gets him. If those fail, this is what you got.
I think I'm just going to go help Iran.
All right, King, I got to move it on. Oh, my God.
Wait. Hold on, I got to play the sound. Hold on. Thank you, for thou shalt be in the King's kingdom soon. So we shall return. Yes, and I shall slayeth another MAGA bitch. Good night.
I like it. All right, King. That is one hell of a note. Appreciate it. Let me go ahead and wrap this up. Oh, my God. Thank you, folks, for the 109,000 likes. As always, you guys know what we do here. We don't block, ban, or censor. This is always uncensored program. It was nice to get a few MAGA come through tonight. MAGA are always welcome on this program. Let no one tell you that because you hear mostly liberals, you're going to be unwelcome on the program or you're going to be censored in any way, fashion, or form. This is a MAGA-friendly program, damn it. It's always been that way. It doesn't matter whose political opinion you're hearing, even yours truly. When you come on, you will get plenty of time to state your case, your opinion, criticize who you want, even if it's me. This is uncensored programming. Always has been, always will be. We don't have a moderator. If you enjoy this type of programming, give us a sub if you're watching on YouTube, and follow us if you're watching on TikTok, Instagram, and we're also on X. We're on all of those platforms. By the way, I may try to look into getting on Truth Social. I don't know if you can take live callers on Truth Social, but I do want to maintain a MAGA audience as well and being able to talk to MAGA. So we go where you're at. That's how much we don't mind speaking to MAGA. We'll go where you're at. So we do want to look into that as well. But nevertheless, this is how we run the show. The NT is a cover-up for a failed Messiah. I don't know what you mean by that. Following and a sub. Thank you, JSU. Real quick, one more before I end up with one of my other subs there. That is Sherbert. Good evening, Sherbert. What's going on?
How's it going, Tim?
Just hanging around like Jesse Jackson at a Klan meeting. What's up?
I'm really concerned with all of these people that will not say that Trump has told a single lie over the last couple weeks, like your last two callers before, Finn.
He
This is
exaggerated.
getting super scary.
He just exaggerated.
I don't give a shit what you call it. It's a fucking lie. And the same way they say Biden and Comey lied to everybody, and then there's not really any proof. But all these major exaggerations are no big deal. Fuck you, MAGA. You pieces of shit that are going to literally destroy this country. When Trump said we were a third world country already, he was just projecting to what he was going to try and do. Fuck MAGA.
Why do you think Trump, and by the way, folks, help your boy finish off that TikTok cap goal. We're almost there. Thank you. Why do you think Trump will try to deliberately tear the country up? That's what it sounds like you're saying.
Because he can make a ton of money for the rest of his family. He's a narcissist. He doesn't care about anyone's else other than him and his golden letters in the fucking sky. What are you talking about, Tim?
What? I mean, the man is 80 years old, Sherbert. He's already worth billions. I mean,
And nothing is enough for a narcissist, Tim. You know it. That's why he's on TV all fucking day. Oh, people love me. I do so good. Fuck you. Done with this shit. We're literally about to go to war. And everyone's just, no, he doesn't lie. Fuck you.
we're about to go to war with who?
Us. Yo, it stands for U.S. Nobody's ever put that together before.
Yeah. Listen, I get MAGA on the program all the time that also say that we're headed possibly toward a civil war. I don't, how can that be stopped?
It can't. Not when these people won't admit to reality. And if they're saying we're the demons and we're the one, what did the last guy 2 callers ago say? I couldn't believe anything Biden says.
Yeah.
Tell me one fucking lie that Biden told. One. Yeah, MAGA reacts. I am a hater.
I'm trying to, wait, hold on.
Tell him you're destroying the country.
One lie that Biden told. I'm sure he told some lies. I'm trying to think.
Like what? Versus the 1,000 you can come up off the top of your head for Trump.
MAGA reacts says Biden lied about his health.
So, yeah, because Trump is the most healthiest person on earth, even though he went away for 10 days with giant scars on his hands.
But-
and yet he's super healthy. Fuck you.
But you asked for a lie that Biden told. He gave you.
What else you got other than his health?
He's saying that the economy is good, and Biden did lie about the. He also said the border was secure.
Disagree.
He said the border was
Disagree
secure.
about the economy. The economy ended up being really good.
He said
Versus Trump literally adding a quarter of all U.S. debt to the United States.
Biden lied about the state of the border.
I disagree.
Really?
Very different ideas about the border than almost most of your people there. I grew up near the border. I still live near the border. Fuck you. Immigrants are not hurting this country. They're literally what makes the world run.
Well, they're suggesting that they're taking American jobs and committing rapes and murders.
They're not doing those jobs, and you have no evidence of that last stat.
Lincoln Riley, the girl on the subway in North Carolina.
Oh, so 0.0000%? Sure.
Well, I'm not saying every one of them, but there are some immigrants. I mean, what do they say? One life is too many. Them folks would not be deceased if illegal immigrants weren't here.
Yeah, and then we got MAGA burning down churches like we did in Michigan, I think. I forget exactly which state that is.
That was
but
Michigan.
They won't say a fucking peep about that, but you know exactly what Laken Riley had done to her.
That you do raise a good point. The guy who drove into the Mormon church in Michigan and then opened fire in his pickup truck. You don't hear MAGA saying a damn thing about that because the guy is on video or on the photo with a MAGA shirt on or a Trump shirt on. You don't hear them saying nothing about that at all.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't say it was the liberals that did that one with the U.S. flags in the back of the truck. They blame us for everything. Why wouldn't they blame us for that?
But the guy actually has a Trump shirt on, so. I mean, you don't know any liberals that have Trump apparel, do you? You don't know any liberals like that, do you?
I might start just handing those out to the crazy people and start making the bad press for these fucking idiots.
But they're not idiots.
It really wouldn't do anything because they're already the most retarded fucks around.
I don't know. I mean, there are some legitimate reasons to vote for Trump, though, is it not?
No, there isn't. No, fucking zero.
I don't.
At this point, no. Anybody that's still a MAGA supporter, I think, is actually pure evil at this point. I work for one, and he believes that, like, oh yeah, he's doing good for the country. I just can't stand how he speaks. I am becoming more and more every day thinking that he is a terrible person for still supporting all of this horse shit.
Well, listen, Trump.
What policy is good? Fuck you. Don't say the border. Don't you dare fucking say the border.
The border he's doing a good job. What protecting the integrity of women's sports.
I don't give a shit. That's what the leagues are for. Not for the president of the United States. We got nothing else to worry about other than a ballroom and women's sports? Fuck you.
I'm just simply saying people want those things addressed.
No, they don't. They want to cry and bitch and moan and get mad at everyone else. Except the liberals are only mad once it's gone to literal military in the streets.
I'll give you one now. I don't necessarily subscribe to this for myself, but when you ask MAGA to provide things that Trump has done as well, this is going to come up. The tariffs are going to bring jobs back to America, and it's going to result in us making a bunch of money. This is what MAGA believes.
They also don't understand that it's a tax on the American people. They still think the other countries are paying it.
Yeah.
I don't really care what retards think at this point.
You can't just disrespect a whole group of people like that.
I disagree. They do it to us all the time, Tim. They said the CK shooter was us when they had literally zero evidence of what had happened other than the footage that we all saw.
They still think Kirk's assassin was liberals. They still think that.
And zero proof about it.
Well, he has a transgender...
No, it's fucking zero. There's still zero. They can't prove a goddamn thing other than he walked up some stairs in that one video.
Well...
Everything else is circumstantial.
Did his own family not say he had leftist ideas?
Yeah, we believe everybody's family now, huh? So they're credible witnesses.
Yeah. I get it. We didn't believe Pete Hegseth family. Robert Kennedy's whole family don't like him. Trump got family members that say he's a rapist. I get it. But I'm just saying his own family members said he had some leftist ideas.
I'm just very angry at this point. When they won't even say burning it to the ground was a lie, I can't trust a single word they say.
I can't argue with that because I did state that by not admitting Trump saying Portland is burning to the ground, by being hesitant to admit that that's clearly a lie, yeah, it does affect credibility. It absolutely ruins Trump's credibility for deploying the National Guard. But if you support Trump and you cannot admit that him saying Portland is currently burning to the ground is a lie, yeah, it does put the credibility at question.
He's been proven to be the most lying president ever. And they still can't admit that he lies. What are we talking about, Tim? I can't handle this level of retardation anymore. Literally the clinical term for it, not what everyone else is thinking. The literal mental slowdown of them not being able to process what a lie is them being literally retarded.
Well, this is who we voted for, Sherbert. This is our president.
I'm not saying a slur. I'm stating medical facts at this point.
Well, 3 years plus to go, but this is our guy. Now, hopefully we don't get to the civil war, the civil unrest you're talking about. Hopefully that does not materialize, but it's up to the midterms, man. It's up to the midterms.
They talk about radicalization. I've been radicalized by Trump being stupid as all hell. And everyone just going, he's the best president ever. On what? Culture war? I don't give a shit about culture war. I care about the taxes. I care about our police not, roughing up people that didn't do anything wrong.
But that is what Trump is great at, is the culture war. He's really good at that.
Well, you mean lying?
Lying, trolling, memeing, tweeting. I mean, he's really good at that.
And that's what's radicalizing about him.
I'm not disagreeing, but he's really good at what he does.
Yeah, sorry to just keep yelling at you at the end of your show, but damn, I'm pissed off right now.
3 years plus. Hopefully the festivity reduces some. I'll go ahead and move it on, Sherbert. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a good night, Tim.
Anytime. I wish he could be good at his job, says King Finn. Well, and Miss Mobetta says Trump's lies cost lives. Wow. What if one of the UFC fighters die in the Rose Garden from the fights? What the hell are you talking about, Steve? Isn't Trump trying to have you're talking about this, the UFC fight Trump is trying to have at the White House? Well, what did Drago say in Rocky IV? If he dies, he dies. I mean, you knew you wanted to be a UFC fighter. I mean, you die, you die. I mean, what's the difference between dying at a White House match versus dying at a match in Nashville or in Vegas? I mean, you're a UFC fighter. This is, risk of death is what kind of comes along with the profession. So it is what it is. Appreciate you folks. 113 thou. Just like most of you folks, I do got to get up and go work for the man, like most of you fine folks do tomorrow. So I appreciate the 113. What did I just say before I was about to tune out? If you enjoy this type of dialogue, show the program some love. I didn't reach my TikTok goal, but we came close. So thank you folks that did support the program. But nevertheless, if you enjoy this type of dialogue, certainly feel free to follow the program if you're watching on TikTok, watching on Instagram or X. We're on X now. If you happen to be watching on YouTube, give your boy a follow. Thank you, Big Dog, coming in at the last. Appreciate that. Give natives back their land. It ain't even enough natives to occupy it right now, so that ain't gonna happen. Is the president is the good president because he makes results? In what area, Derek? In what area? Let me know with that. Anyway, I'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. Donald Hayes, appreciate the rose. Shout out to you. Good night, Ocean. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Like I said, follow the program if you're watching on TikTok, Instagram, or X, and give your boy a sub if you're watching on YouTube. We're here most weekdays. Gots to go. Holla at you later. Y'all take care. Stay safe. Streaming out. If I can turn them off.